Oh my God, let me see. I could be live and don't even know it. I could be live. Oh, I am live and don't even know. I told you I could be live and don't even know it. Oh my God, this is not even playing. What's up with it, chat? Hopefully you enjoyed the show. I'm live and I didn't even know it. I got a very funny show for y'all. And I think I got not a guest that's going to come on, but I got a guest, a first time listener that's going to be listening today. You know what I'm saying? But happy Black History Month for all the people that celebrate Black History. I don't celebrate Black History because I'm not black. I'm American, damn it. I don't celebrate no Black History. What's up, Miss Coco Hayes in the house? I wait for this this computer gonna give out real soon. It's gonna give out real soon, y'all. I don't know when, but it's gonna give out real soon. It's not even playing right. I gotta play my theme music. You know, I gotta play my music to get me in the mood. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Sherry K? Happy to see you join. Where the hell Time at? I try to call Time. Where the hell? Let me try to call Time live on air. Let me see what the hell Time doing. There we go. What the hell Time doing? Time, come out to play. Time, come out. Well, Time may answer the phone. Let's get to my intro. Man, come out to play, Tom. We live right now. You on live right now. Bring your ass out to play. It's friend time. Play. Come out to play. Time. Come out to play.
Guess what in the hell are you talking about tonight?
Man, we talking about the fire chief and we talking about the Illuminati. We talking about how money got you enslaved and how Donald Trump is killing the Illuminati. I'm going to throwback. We're doing throwback today, Tom. Uh-huh.
This is some deep shit.
Deep shit. I might get canceled for this, but there's going to be some deep shit. If I get assassinated, you know why, Tom.
Hey, you get canceled, that means you did something right.
I did something right. We out of here, Tom. Let me play my intro. I'm out of here. Oh!
Mama, I think I
married a hoe.
Married a hoe. I said, Mama,
I think I married a hoe.
I made a mistake, Mama.
Oh, look at this. Trump with a lady, Illuminati.
Oh, no.
Look at that. Dollar bill.
Said he was like a brother. How could I be such a sucker?
Look at this.
Mama,
Trump the king.
I think I married a hoe.
That's from the Illuminati.
Marry a hoe. I said, Mama.
Uh-oh.
I think I married a hoe.
Uh-oh, you from the Illuminati.
I made a mistake, Mama.
Oh, shit.
No.
I'm on a gang sign.
I need out. Yeah, I need out. Blood pressure higher than a body count. Tomorrow she has to go. She's a who, Mama.
Yes, not a leader.
I think
All over
I
that gang
married a
sign. That's the
hoe.
Illuminati sign.
Marry a hoe. I said, Mama.
Uh-oh, that's the Illuminati sign.
I think I married a hoe. I made a mistake, Mama. No, oh no.
We're getting to the Illuminati. We're getting to the Illuminati today. Hope y'all like the Illuminati. I remember back in the days, everybody used to talk about the Illuminati. Like the Illuminati was the shit back in the day. Remember the Illuminati was the shit? They was talking about rappers was getting having sex Because the Illuminati, before it was Puff Daddy, before it was Jeffrey Epstein, it was the Illuminati that was having all the sex with the kids. It was the Illuminati that had all the money, holding all the secrets. But the Democrats are so clever, they made you forget all about the Illuminati, right? And they're letting you know who was the party of the elite the whole time. Right, the stats starting to come out. It's more elite people, which means it could be more pedophiles. If we're going off of what y'all say, all the rich people, is something wrong with them. They either mean or evil or racist or child pedophiles. You know, if you want to go by that law, all of them is Democrats, damn it. Right? It's barely Republicans. It's barely any Republicans. I ain't gonna say it's no Republicans, but barely any Republicans that get into that type of freaky shit, right? You gotta be a Democrat to damn to do some freaky shit, right? But before we get into that story, we want to talk about the LA chief, right? Karen Bass got rid of her ass, right? Now, is she gonna get all the gay people gonna come out and against Karen Bass, talking about she following politics and she's doing political firings and firing the gay chief, and all the gay people gonna come out now for diversity, equity, inclusion? Huh? Is they gonna be marching the street with rainbows and dildos? Rainbows and dildos, right? Is she gonna file a class action suit for DEI? What's gonna happen? Because her ass is fired. Karen Bass said, "I'm not taking this blame. I just got on the job, right? I'm making all this money. The blame and the buck must be passed on because I'm not about to take this shit. Somebody else got to take the fall, right? It's always a fall guy, right? It's always somebody got, but at least she fired somebody. Joe Biden didn't fire nobody. If it was Joe Biden, she would have still been on the job. But at least Karen Bass had the nuts to fire somebody. We know why she fired the gay girl, right? But at least she had enough nuts to say, look, it's not my fault. It's this bitch's fault. Blame this bitch. Don't blame me. She was the one doing it. Let's get into it before we get into the Donald Trump. Let's get into it. Oh, we got it on mute. We can't get into it unless we unmute it. My bad. We can't get into it unless we unmute it.
The good news is our fire chief is a lesbian.
Interest of Los Angeles public safety and for the operations of the Los Angeles Fire Department, I just met with Chief Crowley and removed her as fire chief.
Whoa, removed her. You know removed her mean? Removed her mean fired. You know, executed. She should say executed, but fire her, removed her. You're going to get hell from the DEI gay community.
And you're saying you're not surprised?
Not surprised, based off of what we heard the other day in that interview that the mayor gave to Fox 11. What was the thought process behind going to Ghana?
So let me just tell you a couple of things. First of all, when the White House called.
Look, she making excuses why she went to Ghana, right? Remember, she was in Ghana when the fires were happening, right? But didn't nobody inform her it was the LA fire chief fault. It wasn't her fault. It wasn't her advisor fault. It wasn't nobody that was under her fault. It was the LA fire chief fault that she was in Ghana and she wasn't aware of the fire and the dangers of what was about to happen.
Process behind going to Ghana.
So let me just tell you a couple of things. First of all, when the White House called and asked me if I would represent the president, I said yes. It was going to be a very, very short trip, over a weekend and 2 business days.
She was laying the groundwork for why she thought that Kristain Crowley was to blame for a lot of this.
We need to look at everything about the preparation and all of that for the fires, because I think when we evaluate that, we will find that although there were warnings that I frankly wasn't aware of, although there were warnings, I think our preparation, what it was.
Wait a minute. You've been living in LA how long? And you wasn't aware of what? Right? She said she wasn't aware. You mean nobody else warned you before you went to Ghana? It had to be all up to the fire chief. I went to Ghana and didn't nobody warn me. Liar.
Wasn't what it typically is.
Those are our communities. And our people will do everything in their power to protect them.
Crowley's official bio says Chief Crowley leads a diverse department, creating, supporting, and promoting a culture that values diversity, inclusion, and equity while striving to meet and exceed the expectations of the community.
It is my job as a chief to make sure that my firefighters are funded appropriately, are equipped appropriately, and they're trained appropriately. That's why I'm here.
When I asked her directly about her assessment of Kristain Crowley, she did not say anything positive, basically said, we're going to see.
Meaning that before there's a major weather event, for example, last week when we knew we were going to get into the rains, you saw us come together and us talk about, get your sandbags, bring the K-rails out. That type of preparation didn't happen.
Ha! Ha! And who fault was that? The fire chief?
If that had, I will tell you, Alex, I wouldn't have even gone to San Diego, let alone leave the country. I have appointed a 41-year veteran of the fire department, former Chief Deputy Ronald Villanueva.
Whoa, she got a 41-year veteran. That's not a DEI hire. That's somebody with experience and merits. Huh? She got rid of DEI hire and hired somebody with 41 years experience before she finds somebody else to take that job. But you wouldn't hire somebody with experience. She fired the gay white woman and got her a straight white man. Hit her for DEI. You fired her and you gonna get a white man to replace her. Hit her with the gay DEI.
As interim fire chief.
That's why I'm in this seat. I will not stop until I get that for them.
Well, you didn't exceed my expectations, which was that the whole city wouldn't burn down. But it's telling that diversity is mentioned twice before we get to while striving to meet expectations.
You've spoken with the Fire Commission. You have made it very clear that this department is underfunded, correct?
That is absolutely correct.
He is respected and ready to hit the ground running.
This department was asked to take a $17 million budget.
That is correct.
Now, can you do two things at once? Yes. But it matters where your head is. Deputy Chief Kristain Larson said this.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you.
Which would sound kind of racist if a Southern sheriff said it.
Yeah, what if a white man said that shit? What if a white man said that? I only want to rescue people that look like me. What? Huh? I don't want no black person to rescue me. That would sound racist as a son of a bitch.
Teaches people this bullshit. No one cares what someone looks like when they're pulling you out of a burning house.
Gigi's point is correct, this idea of waiting for the investigation to be completed. I think what you said, though, is key. If you look at her statement, she's saying that Kristain Crowley's not participating in the investigation, so the investigation can't go forward without her participation. So because of that, that gives her the out to get rid of her now.
As you know, I have called for a full investigation of everything leading up to January 7th. A necessary step to the investigation was the president of the Fire Commission telling Chief Crowley to do an after-action report on the fires. The fire chief refused.
So first and foremost, what I just said before is making sure our firefighters have the ability to provide service.
She said you should have done it before a forward report instead of an after-action report. You should have done a before-action report, right? She said she didn't have enough funding. She didn't have enough people. She didn't have enough trucks. She said it wasn't her fault. It was your fault.
So $17 million cut did not allow us to do what we needed to do.
But it is clear that there was no love lost between Kristain Crowley and L.A. Mayor Karen Bass. This also allows Mayor Bass to sort of change the story a bit from that interview that we did the other day, which has not garnered the greatest reviews for her from a lot of folks, especially folks on the right that may not have been big fans of her to begin with. But what do you mean there were warnings you weren't aware of? Because I know we were talking about it on the news. A lot of people were talking about the problem.
Everybody was talking about the problem. You're like, what do you mean you wasn't aware? Everybody was talking about the news. Everybody was saying to watch out for the winds. Everybody knew. I knew from fire camp a couple of years ago, and you the mayor of LA, and you don't know?
Warning that this was going to be a huge deal.
So when I talked about it with the fire chief, what she said is that we have warnings of Santa Ana winds a lot, but predicting this, and you saw.
She said we have Santa Ana winds a lot, but predicting this, well, when she said it was Santa Ana winds, that means it's suspected fires. I'm pretty sure she didn't know how dangerous or what kind of extent it was going to get to either. just like you didn't. But she blaming on her. She told me that it was Wednesday, and it may be Wednesday. I didn't know it was gonna be this serious. Stop lying.
From the city, from the county, that level of preparation really didn't happen. So it didn't reach that level to me to say something terrible could happen and maybe you shouldn't have gone on the trip.
But it is, somebody did something wrong. And the question is, who's to blame?
Where that impacted us specifically for Palisades was our ability to move into reserve apparatus.
Why didn't
But to me, I don't know. I mean, I think that that's one of the things we need to look at. I will tell you that I felt absolutely terrible not being here for my city and not being here for my family, who was impacted by the fires as well. And so when I say it was a mistake, absolutely, the idea that I was not present was very painful.
The $17 million cut into our ability to utilize resources that should be at our disposal, that we were unable to fix because the funding was not there because of cuts to our mechanics.
We all know that 1,000 firefighters that could have been on duty on the morning the fires broke were instead sent home on.
I wonder, was that part of the budget cuts? Or was that part of DEI? She didn't know what the hell she was doing. She gonna send firefighters home on the worst possible fire season day in the history of fire seasons. It was either DEI or she didn't have the funding. One or the other. It's either you or her.
Duty on the morning the fires broke were instead sent home on Chief Crowley's watch. These actions required her removal.
You said that removing Chief Crowley is in the best interest of Los Angeles public safety. What specifically did she do to endanger public safety?
Well, as I mentioned, 1,000 firefighters who could have been on the job fighting the fires were sent home. The other thing that I mentioned is that I said after the fires were out, after the rain had stopped, that a full investigation would begin. One step of that investigation was to do an after-action report, of which she refused. Oh, well, let me just be clear. As I just said, while Los Angeles was on fire, after that we had rains. I was not going to do anything while we were in a state of emergency. Next.
Rain wasn't a state of emergency. It wasn't even raining that fucking hard, especially in Malibu. It was barely raining. It was sprinkling.
Are we still in a state of emergency?
No, we are not in a state of emergency right now.
I assume you met. I assume this is not a decision you made this morning. When did you meet with Chief Crowley, former Chief Crowley?
About an hour ago.
And how did the meeting go?
It was very brief.
What
I can tell you is that what
it was very brief
has happened in the 2+ years I've been here, every time there was a weather emergency or even a hint of a weather emergency, the chief has called me directly. She has my cell phone. She knows she can call me 24/7. And she briefed me, and then we would talk about what needed to happen next. That did not happen this time.
Whoa, you wasn't briefed this time? So you said she didn't brief you. Okay. Well, why you didn't call her?
Yes.
You had no idea
Yes.
before you went to Ghana?
Excuse me? Yes. Yes.
Dude asked her, hey, you had no idea before you went to Ghana. She's like, excuse me? She don't want to answer that question.
You hadn't seen any of the forecasts before you went to Ghana?
Yes.
What was the reasoning for not having the 1,000 fires?
Ah, she said yes.
I don't know.
She said, what was the reason? I don't know.
I don't know what the reason was.
Did you
Yes.
see the forecasts before you went to Ghana?
No.
No, you didn't?
Yes. Los Angeles needs to move forward.
She already said no, right? And every time a Democrat get into a pickle, right, when they fucked up, they don't want you to think about the past. They always want you to move on. Let's move on to the future. Let's forget about the past.
You went to Ghana?
No.
No, you didn't?
Yes. Los Angeles needs to move forward. This is a new day. I am excited to welcome our new chief, who was a 41-year veteran of this fire department. He is well known. He is well liked. He knows most of the members of the city council, except for our 2 members that were recently elected. And it is our plan to continue moving forward. We want to have the full investigation that the governor has ordered and the investigation that we will do locally. Yes.
Thank you again. I wanted to back up a little bit because I think you actually spoke with the chief, and I heard it live on KNX News at 12:47 p.m. local time. You're in West Africa, the chief is here, and you're on KNX News talking about the fire disaster, and you're praising Chief Crowley for repositioning units that were necessary in vulnerable places. You're also praising her leadership, and you said something that the LAFD is always at the ready.
And needless to say, I did not know all the facts, but I had spoken to her maybe a couple of hours before that.
Well, ho, 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 ho. Lion ho. Lion ho. Well, that was just the intro. We had to breaking news, you know, it's an LA fire chief was just fired today, right? You had a big old thing. I happened to see that shit on the news, my local news. I was like, what? Let me watch the local news, and I saw some shit, right? I saw some shit, right? But now we're going to get into the Illuminati. I kind of hinted at something yesterday when I showed y'all the Illuminati about the IRS and stuff like that, and how people ain't supposed to pay income taxes and things like that. I kind of had a debate on another show about money, you know, and I didn't get a chance to put my full point of view in, right? I didn't get to put, you know, show what I meant, right? I couldn't quite get my understanding because I was cut off, and you're gonna be asked questions, and when you're on somebody else's show, you can't really explain yourself right, and you can't really express. I want to express my knowledge on this situation, right, about money, right, and about why smart people don't pay taxes, right? It's a big old thing about taxes right now, and the IRS and the federal government, the Federal Reserve, and things like that. And like I said earlier, it was a big old thing about the Illuminati earlier, right? And the things that Donald Trump is doing right now would be the same thing somebody would do to break up the Illuminati, right? Do audits on stuff, fire federal employees, fire parts of the government, judges, you know what I'm saying? These are the things, release documents, sign executive orders, right? Hire people that's not really part of the government to investigate the government, right? Audit the people that's auditing, you, right? To get into the waste and the fraud and see where the money going. This was somebody that was trying to break up the Illuminati would be doing. Now, before I used to do politics, I used to be real curious in Illuminati and things like that. And some of the things, I don't know if y'all know Bill Cooper, and I don't know if y'all know David Icke. I don't know if y'all put a one in the chat if you know either one of them. If you know David Icke, put a one in the chat, put a D in there to put DI or something up there. And if you know what's the nigga? I just said the nigga name. Bob, I forgot his name. I forgot his name already. What's it? The dude with Bob? I forgot his name. D.I. Miss Chocolate Cocoa, her David Icke. Alex Jones. This is Alex Jones. This is before I was watching Alex Jones. This is before I was watching Alex Jones. I used to went right. I've heard of David Icke. David Icke is deep, right? And David Icke used to talk about the federal bank, right? And this dude, Bob. Oh man, what's this dude name? I forgot. But you're gonna see what I'm talking about in a minute, right? Bob, what's his name? William something, right? But he was talking about the Federal Reserve and the bankers and the IRS and all that. He was talking about what they do in their role and the crippling the government, and what he was saying in 1993, right? And 1978 and things like that is the same thing that's happening right now, but to a different degree, right? And the way he's saying stop it, and the only way you can stop it is these two people saying the only way you can stop it. These are supposed to be some of the top conspiracy. William Cooper, that's his name, William Cooper. right? They killed William Cooper because he had too much information. He predicted his own death. You know what I'm saying? If you heard of William Cooper, put a Dub C up in the chat if you heard of William Cooper. What up, William Ryan? Thanks for the love, man. You heard of William Cooper, put a WC up in there for William Cooper. We're going to see who heard of William Cooper up in here, right? He was one of the first conspiracy theorists that I was watching, right, that explained to me about money, right, and things like that, and why you don't supposed to pay taxes and things like that, right, and how the government was frauded, you know, to the Federal Reserve. I mean, this was stuff I knew back in the days about money, right, and part of the reason why I never had a job, because money is about control, right, and entrepreneurs know if you don't have a boss, can't nobody control you, right? Because it's about the money. You go to work for the money, right? Because you owe shit. You always in debt. You're never out of debt. You're gonna rent, a car note, right? Kids gonna have kids, school, whatever, gas bills, light bills, right? You're working just for the necessities of life, to pay water, and then you broke. You buy your little food or whatever, then you broke. Then you have to wait on your next check, or you have to work 14 days. Some people 5 days, some people 10, however many days you got to work just to get some money to do the same thing again, because you owe. You owe every time that check comes. You owe the first of the month, the mortgage you owe. Right? So you have to keep on working. You have to keep on going to this job every day, you know what I'm saying, doing the same thing every day to get the money so you can go what? Pay what you owe. You're never getting ahead, right? Because the government and the system is not made for you to get ahead. If you got a job, if you're working, if you're an employee, right? They control you with the money because all the boss, because you have to kiss your boss ass. Yes, boss. Yeah, I can come in today, boss. Yeah, I can work extra hours, boss. No, okay, I can't take an off day, boss. Oh, you're right, boss. He can talk to you basically anytime, kind of way he wants to. A lot of people hate their boss because they control them. Because they know their boss, all they got to do is say, you're fired. That's going to fuck with your money, right? Then you can't pay your debts off. You can't pay your bills off, right? That's what a bill is. It's a debt. Your debt's gonna keep on coming in. Your debt's gonna get higher and higher. You're gonna get deeper and deeper in the hole, right? Because of the money, right? They cut off your money supply, and it's all a game. And I'm gonna explain the game to you today, right? I'm gonna explain the game to you today. Let me send my homegirl on right quick so I can explain the game to her today. You know what I'm saying? And tell her how they fucking off the church's money. This is gonna be a long, like, part of the William Cooper part is kind of low. You know what I'm saying? You can still hear it, but I couldn't pick up the volume when I was downloading it. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna see how these bankers and this Federal Reserve and all IRS and all this shit is just a big old game, and how they fucking you and enslaving you, right? Because of the dollar. What Donald Trump is trying to do, he's trying to free you from that enslavement. He's trying to free you from having that bill over your head, right? He's trying to free you from paying this debt so you can, instead of paying some of the debt off, what you already owe, because you're not paying your debt off, you're paying their debt off. You're paying United States of America debt off. You ain't paying your debt off, right? You're paying somebody else's debt off. That's why Donald Trump keep the money. But with no further ado, let's get into it.
The facts, but I had spoken to her maybe a couple of hours before that.
Well, folks, the subject of this program tonight is how did we get to this point in history?
You see that? It says January 18th, 1993. This is made in 1993. I told you I'm like an historian too. I fact with the Illuminati shit, and I got an elephant memory. The shit going on right now, I just click okay, this sounds like some shit I've seen and I heard before. Where have I seen and heard all this Elon Musk and Donald Trump and IRS shit before? Where have I heard of this shit before? I audited all these people. Oh, I heard it from William Cooper. in a book he wrote in 1980 something, and he had a speech on in 1993. Let me see, can I find it? Found it, bam, edited, boom. Here we go.
We're the greatest nation in the history of the world. To this point in history, where the greatest nation in the history of the world is on the brink of total and final economic collapse.
Our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline.
Why is it that our schools teach our children nothing about money, economics?
So what? Nothing about money. You heard that? Why do our schools not teach us nothing about money? Right? And I was talking to my friend earlier, right? And the way I learned about money is dealing drugs. Right? That's how I learned about percentages, right? Interest. That's how I learned about marketing. That's how I learned about advertisement, right? That's how I learned about budgeting, sacrificing, investment, right? I learned about product, buying, selling, right? You learn all of that. If people on the street would use their mind in a positive way and take their experiences with dealing drugs or even robbing niggas, because robbing take a lot of planning, right? This took their street values, the street education, and the street experience, and turned it into something positive, into a business, and use the same energy. They can be profitable, right? I use the same tactics, you know what I'm saying, on YouTube and all that I used back then, right? It's the same tactics. You just got to have a business mind. You got to sacrifice. You got to learn when to invest. You got to learn about profit. You got to learn about money, because this is not a job. This is not a 9 to 5. I don't wake up at 8 o'clock and go to be at work at 9. I don't get off at 5. Right? So when you an entrepreneur, you have to understand and try to find how money works. And you have to understand money, because you have to know when to save. You have to know when to spend. You have to know what to buy. You have to know what to invest in. You just can't. You have to know when to budget. You have to know all of that. Even on this YouTube stuff, even with this comedy stuff, you have to know all of that, right? Because I deal with money. I don't deal with a check. I don't deal with a schedule. I don't deal with none of that. And I was taught that by not my school, but none of the stuff I use in school except math is helping me right now, right? Or spelling or reading, that's probably helping me, but ain't nothing else. The history not helping me, the government not helping me, the economics not helping me. Everything I learned else I learned in school is not helping me. So why didn't they teach me about money? Why didn't they teach me about Wall Street? Why didn't they teach me about stocks and bonds and stuff like that? Because they don't want you to know.
What we have almost every night on the news, we have economists wheeled in front of television cameras, surrounded by computer screens, talking in a language we don't understand.
Do the rich people cringe and say, don't tell them that, Rob?
Yes. Don't tell people what you know. Right. Keep them poor. My father was the head of education, PhD, all that stuff. I go home and ask him, said, why don't we learn about money in school? And he looked at me and says, because the government doesn't let us teach that subject. The government tells us what we can teach and what we can't teach.
You hear that? The government doesn't let us teach you about money. The government, under federal law from the Board of Education, must teach you what you call it, their standards of an education, right? The federal law doesn't allow schools to teach you about money. So you'll never learn about money. The schools won't allow it.
And he looked at me and says, because the government doesn't let us teach that subject. The government tells us what we can teach and what we can't teach.
I think it's the Chancellor's M3 policy. I thought the M3 was a motorway. I don't know, something to do with money apparently. I don't know. It's the public sector borrowing requirement. And so they go on, oh God, it's boring. What's on the other side? And so we switch off, understandably.
Why? Because talking money is boring. Because you don't know. It's like talking to rocket scientists to a motherfucking crackhead. You don't understand money. So when somebody talks money and dividends and percentages and stuff like that, you're going to get uninterested because you don't understand it. But somebody who loves money and understands the money talk is going to be interested about percentages and investments and shit like that because they work with money. They got to understand profit. If you got a 9 to 5, you don't know shit about profit. If you got 9 to 5, you don't know shit about investing. You got a 9 to 5, you don't know shit about budgeting. You got to budget your bills, but you ain't got to budget a company, right? If you got a 9 to 5, you ain't got to worry a shit about insurance on property or business expenses and shit. You ain't got to worry about. All you got to do is go to work, do your little 8 hours, come home 5 times a week, get a check, then go pay your bills. Come back home, go to do the same, get 2 days off, and do the same shit again. That is your life because you know nothing about money. You're not an entrepreneur. You can't. You have a set time. You have to be somewhere every day, right? Because you have to give them their money. They're going to keep you in debt because they need their money from you. That's why they need their taxes. If you don't pay taxes, you ain't giving them no money. You ain't giving them shit. You ain't paying their debt off.
God, it's boring. What's on the other side? And so we switch off, understandably.
Why is it that we know as a people literally nothing about the monetary system and the economic system that our country operates under?
We know nothing about the economic system. Think about it. You know nothing. The only reason I know about it is, like I said, through street shit and through this comedy stuff, right? And through investing in this club stuff. But if you working, you can put money in the bank, but the bank gonna do what they gonna do with it. You're not doing anything with it. You put it in the bank for, you know what I'm saying, to keep it there. And they done all kind of shit with your money, and you will pull it out, and they'll give you a little bit of interest, a couple of dollars here and there. Well, they done made thousands off of your shit. You done kept it up in there so long. You keep your money up there. You don't save your money. They hold your money. You don't. They use your money to make other investments. You don't, because you know nothing about money. You only know about savings and loans. Either you're going to borrow or you're going to pay back. Huh? Not investments, not debts, not credit.
And I thought that was strange. And I said, but aren't we going to school to learn about money? He says, no, your job is to get a job. I said, but you get a job to earn money. He goes, no, you're supposed to just get a job. I went, no. Isn't the purpose of a job to earn money? He goes, you're correct. I said, so why don't I just learn about money? I can skip the job part, you know?
Why I don't learn about money? They don't want to teach you about money. Every other country is teaching their kids about money. They're not teaching you about money because they don't want you to know about money. Why do you think our school system is so fucked up? Why do you think it's the lowest out of all poll country, out of 40, we the lowest, and we spend the most per child, right? Because they don't want to teach you. Like he said, keep them dumb. They pay more to keep you dumb. Think about it. All the money they pay is not to make you smart, because they could have been made you smart. What do you think the lottery for? Ain't the lottery for the school system? All the people paying the lottery, wasn't that to donate for the school? Right? The help with the streets, right? Before the federal government was taking up, states used to take care of their own shit. They can take care of their own, they can pay for their own. Look, if California wouldn't fuck with the federal government and can invest in their own self, we'll be the 4th best motherfucking richest country in the world. But we got to get all the federal funding, the federal grants and shit like that. If we was ran right, we have a hell of an economy over here. We don't need the federal government for shit. California, New York, Texas, all them, they don't need the federal, Atlanta, Georgia, they don't need the federal government for shit. Right? They cities and they states and the people in their states produce money at a hell of a level. If they didn't have to pay federal tax and all this other shit, hell, they have a lot of more money. But they got to pay what America owes. That's why I don't teach you about money.
How is it that most Americans believe that a private corporation known as the Federal Reserve Bank is an agency of the United States government when it is not?
And he got flustered and he said, if you want to learn about money, why don't you ask your best friend's father about money? And I said, why? That's Mike. So I asked him. He says, because Mike's father is an entrepreneur. And I said, what are you? He says, I'm an employee. I'm a government employee. I went, oh, what's the difference? He says, the difference is an entrepreneur must know about money, or they're no longer entrepreneurs. And he says an employee doesn't have to know anything about money because the government will take care of them, the company will take care of them.
The company and the government will take care of them, right? Because you're basically their slave. You're a slave to the company and you're a slave to the government because the company got to pay the government and the company got to pay you. Huh? And everybody, and the government got to make sure that their slaves keep on working. So they make all these regulations and all these things to keep you safe and all this other shit because they got to keep you working because they need your tax money to pay their debt.
So I'm all confused.
How is it that we write checks to the Internal Revenue Service believing that we are paying taxes and we are not?
Day one, I immediately halted the hiring of...
Wait. And think about this. Remember, Joe Biden tried to get 187,000 new IRS agents. Listen to William Cooper say. You think you're paying taxes to the IRS, but you're not. So Joe Biden was going to hire 87,000 IRS agents for the Federal Reserve, the federal government, to go after your money to give it to them. He talking about the rich. When he was talking about taking your money and giving it to the rich. He's talking about taking these billionaires' money like Elon Musk and all these motherfuckers and giving it to the rich. It's not giving it to you. Paying off the deficit meaning giving it back to the rich, to the elite who owns the Federal Reserve. And y'all worried about Elon Musk getting the money? We're going to get deeper into it. Watch this.
Service believing that we are paying taxes.
That's why Donald Trump, if Donald Trump was, if somebody was to try to get rid of the Illuminati, one thing he would do would get rid of the organization that comes after your money, which controls your freedom. What do you think Donald Trump doing? He don't want the IRS coming after you. He wants you to have your freedom.
And we are not.
Day one, I immediately halted the hiring of any new IRS agents. They hired, or tried to hire, 88,000 new workers to go after you, and we're in the process of developing a plan to either terminate all of them or maybe we'll move them to the border.
But people complain, oh, Donald Trump firing federal agents, Donald Trump doing this. Well, you want these motherfucking federal agents? You want these motherfuckers to keep their job? You want these IRS agents to keep their job, or you want to cry and you want to march and shit for them? Donald Trump said, we're going to fire the motherfuckers that they fired to spy on you. And you crying about it?
I think we're going to move them to the border.
Why is it that in the nation with the most opportunity, the greatest affluence that the world has ever known, what used to be, is not now, but what used to be the best educational system on the face of this earth?
You hear this? This is 1980. This is 1993. What used to be the best education on the face of the earth, the richest country on the face of the earth with the most fucked up education. He said in 1993, and guess who said in 2025?
with a constitution that guarantees each, sir, is not now, but what used to be the best educational system on the face of this earth, with a constitution that guarantees each individual equality and freedom.
We're ranked number 40 out of 40 schools, right? We're ranked number 1 in cost per pupil. So we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world.
What has happened, dear listeners?
And we're ranked at the bottom of the list. We're ranked very badly. And what I want to do is let the states run schools. I believe strongly in school choice. But in addition to that, I want the states to run schools. And I want...
Meaning taking the federal government without the federal standards and the federal this, and let the states run their own schools. Let them finance their own, let them invest in their own students. They know what's best for the student. They have enough money. And if they don't have enough money, I'm pretty sure a federal grant or a federal funding can help that state for a little while until they get back on their feet. That's what you use it for. But California, New York, Florida, Georgia, and a couple other states, they don't need the money like that. They don't need no federal help. Let them run their shit.
Linda to put herself out of a job.
The Federal Reserve Bank was established in 1914 after a meeting in 1913 on an island called Jekyll Island by some of the wealthiest bankers in this nation.
Right? The Federal Reserve, right? This is where your money going to. This is where your tax money going to. When they say we need more money to pay off the deficit and shit like this. Donald Trump didn't get us in this shit, but he's showing the fuck trying to get us out. Right? The bankers fooled the Democrats into doing what? Making the Federal Reserve. It wasn't the Republicans that they fooled. It wasn't the Republicans that bid into the bankers. It wasn't the Republicans that sold out the country. It was the fucking Democrats sold out to the rich bankers with the Federal Reserve. And then after that shit, he's going to cry and apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sold out my country. Huh? The only reason why you're paying taxes is because the country owe money, not you.
On an island called Jekyll Island by some of the wealthiest bankers in this nation. Representing, I might add, European banking interests. And they conned the Congress of the United States into forming a central bank. Not a central bank owned and operated by the United States government, folks.
Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act, which created the Fed. He later said, "I am a most unhappy man. I have unwittingly ruined my country. A great industrial nation is controlled by its system of credit. Our system of credit is concentrated. The growth of the nation..."
Did you hear that? A system of credit. Rich people know how to use credit to get rich. Broke people, they in credit because they owe. Think about it. Credit is how you get rich. How did Elon Musk buy Twitter? With credit. How did Donald Trump get off with his the bail thing? With credit. What they ask you when you go try to buy a car, how's your credit? You have bad credit, you're in a whole different category. You have good credit, you're in a whole different category. But the bankers built and fucked up our nation, right, to run it on credit, a system, right? Why you think they always say this great experience of America? All these motherfuckers say the experience we call America. Because it's a system. People think, oh, no, this motherfucker is and they tell you it's a system. It's ran like a system. It's a system ran by a certain group of people. It's not a country. It's a system.
Which created the Fed. He later said, "I am a most unhappy man. I have unwittingly ruined my country. A great industrial nation is controlled by its system of credit. Our system of credit is concentrated. The growth of the nation, therefore, and all our activities are in the hands of a few men. We have come to be one of the worst ruled, one of the most completely controlled and dominated governments in the civilized world, no longer a government by free opinion, No longer a government by conviction and the vote of the majority, but a government by the opinion and duress of a small group of dominant men. Woodrow Wilson.
But
a group of dominant men that do what? Own the Federal Reserve.
a privately owned corporation called the Federal Reserve as the central bank of the United States of America.
Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency is just getting started.
The Federal Reserve Act exempted this private corporation from paying income taxes and made it against the law to audit them.
Wait, you heard that? They don't have to pay income taxes and made it against the law to audit them. You can't audit the Federal Reserve because it's against the law. The Constitution said it's against the law. You cannot audit them and they cannot be taxed, but they sure in the fuck can collect them. But hey, if you part of breaking up the Illuminati, what you gonna do? If these motherfuckers Illuminatis and they never been audited before as a federal government or the Federal Reserve has never been audited, and you was Donald Trump and you wanted to break up the Illuminati, and you was Elon Musk and you wanted to break up the Illuminati, what you gonna do? If it's never been audited before, what you gonna do?
Exempted this private corporation from paying income taxes and made it against the law to audit them.
And their latest plan could be to empower former Congressman Ron Paul, the godfather of the libertarian movement, to audit the Federal Reserve.
They have never, ever been audited, and I'm going to tell you why.
Now, in a post on X, Musk responded to a friendly comment asserting that Doge should pick Paul to do just that.
Because, folks, if they were to be audited, you would find out that this country has literally been stolen from us.
Audit.
Ain't that what Donald Trump them saying? The country, all these things and wasteful spending, we need to audit this motherfucker. They said they never been audited before. Never. Well, guess what, motherfucker? The time is up. Your gig is up. Trump is in office. The Illuminati shit is over.
Because, folks, if they were to be audited, you would find out that this country has literally been stolen from us.
Audit the Fed. In response, Musk said, good idea.
Because here's how the Federal Reserve Bank operates.
And yet, the world financial system is as simple as can be. It can be summed up in one short sentence. You lend people money that doesn't exist and you charge them interest on it. That's it. Everything else comes out of that.
You heard that? That's the system we live in to keep you in debt. You loan money out that doesn't exist, right? And you make people pay it back. Type up money. We don't need the dollar. We don't need the physical dollar. We can just type up shit right out of thin air. You want $1 million? Boop, 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 boop. No physical transaction. There go your million. It's in the bank. You got it. It's here when you need it. We still gonna keep it though, right? It's a system, and you wonder why you broke. It's not because of Donald Trump. It's not because of it's because of the system, and people work for the system. And who fighting to keep the system intact? Who fighting for these people not to audit the system? Who fighting to keep these motherfuckers not from keeping those from auditing these motherfuckers or going and getting these motherfuckers information and seeing who's doing the fraud? Nobody but the Democrats. They could have audited. They could have went into the financial reserves and see what the fuck was going on. But the only motherfucker trying to do it is who? Donald Trump.
This world is up to its neck in debt on money that has never, does not, and will never exist. And we stand for this. The great prison that the human race lives in is the fear of what other people think of them. That's the prison we live in. That's the great limiter of our potential.
They have two ways of stealing money from the American people. Actually, three ways. The first is that if the United States needs money, let's say, they print up 1,000 $1 bills. The Federal Reserve then agrees to loan the United States $1,000. They buy those 1,000 $1 bills from the United States Treasury, where it was printed, for just a little over $20.
They buy them, buy and sell it. It's a system. And you worried about Elon Musk with your information when Elon Musk and Donald Trump trying to break these motherfuckers up?
That's the printing costs, and there's no profit built into that.
Now, Senator Mike Lee went further, calling on President Donald Trump to name Ron Paul to be chairman of the Federal Reserve. I don't know if that's going to happen, but the Libertarian Party is obviously very excited at the possibility of Paul being involved whatsoever, tweeting that Paul auditing the Fed would be a, quote, nation-changing event.
And then they turn around and loan those dollars to the United States of America. You see, the money never existed.
Libertarian activists have long advocated for an audit of the Federal Reserve since Ron Paul first proposed such a plan years and years ago.
And we need to see why they're charging us these interests. Remember, Donald Trump was fighting over these interest rates, right? Are they charging us these interests? They cutting Joe Biden interest. They hitting me with this interest because the feds do not like Donald Trump. The Federal Reserve did not like Donald Trump. The niggas who own the feds do not like Donald Trump. They hate his guts. Why? Because he's destroying the Illuminati.
They don't open a bank vault and take out $8,000 and loan it to the United States of America. No, sir. They make a bookkeeping entry. They create this money out of thin air. It never existed before in the history of the world. They then pay the United States Treasury a little over $20 per each $1,000 in $1 bills that is printed, or they just issue the money to the United States as a loan in the form of credit without printing any money.
John F. Kennedy was short-circuiting the New World Order. He had ordered the printing of constitutional money, United States notes.
Huh? United States notes. Huh? Not Fed notes. United States.
Which would have destroyed the Federal Reserve. Which would have...
Why the two people who tried to destroy the Federal Reserve get assassinated or almost assassinated? Donald Trump, and John F. Kennedy. And now you got his nephew ride with Donald Trump, right? We was going to make our own money. We didn't need the feds.
Constitutional money, United States notes. He had ordered the printing of constitutional money, United States notes.
Constitutional notes. Repeat it one more time. Constitutional notes. Fuck the feds. Right? That's why they're scared of Bitcoin. Right? But fuck the feds. We're going to make our own money and we're going to cut their ass loose so we can what? Cut ourselves from this debt. If you make your own money, you don't need to borrow their money. Huh? What if they say, look, what if the federal government say, hey, man, we need all our money back right now. We need all our trillions of dollars back right now. Or we're going to renege on any kind of loans. When we get so far in the hole, they say that. You're going to have to sell us all your property. Everything federal. You're going to have to hold that shit for collateral. Right? Because y'all built up a debt y'all cannot pay. We need collateral now. Give us this, give us that, give us Medicare, give us this. Whatever we want, we can take now because guess what? You so far in debt, we got to start taking collateral. And what can you say? It's either that or we not giving you no more money. And you're already in the hole. What you going to do? JFK saw this shit coming. He said, fuck this. I'm going to make a national dollar. Guess what? You got to go. Flick, flick. Donald Trump done the same thing. Guess what? You got to go. Flick, flick, but it missed.
He had ordered the printing of constitutional money, United States notes, which would have destroyed the Federal Reserve, which is not an agency of the United States government.
They then loan this money to the United States of America in the form of Federal Reserve notes. And then
Federal Reserve notes, but if you had constitutional notes, you wouldn't need Federal Reserve notes. You would have your own notes, and guess what? It wouldn't come with no interest, right? Think about this: when the gold standard was out, right? When the gold standard was out, and you had gold in the bank, and you had a note, you went to the bank, right? You went to the bank, and you gave the bank that note. They didn't take no money out, and they didn't take out no taxes or none of that, no bank fees or none of that shit. Right? When you go to work and you get all your money in gold, right? Which is which is the only legal money. Gold is the only legal money. Hold on. Every other money is counterfeit, right? Every other money is counterfeit. Every dollar you spend, is counterfeit. What do America consider money? Consider oh shit. Consider money. What do Americans consider money? Right? The United States dollar is officially currency of the United States and consider that's not it. Wait, what do America consider this is not this. How much money? What is the official money? What is official money of the United States? That's what is official money? What is official wealth? What is official money? Should I put that on? Official money of the United States by law. By law. Let me see, can I put that? By law. What is it by law? The Supreme Court Nixon shall be vested. What's that? Gold. Well, I was going to put gold. Let me just beat the bush. Gold is the only standard. Gold recognized is only money in America. Only legal money is the only legal money in America. The only legal money in the U.S. All right, here we go. Precious metals. Here we go, right here. This should be it right here. This should be it right here. Gold and silver coins are accepted as legal tender is in 11 states, whatever. Texas was recently passed the legislation to recognize gold and silver as legal tender, following citizens to make transactions using precious metals in place of cash. However, the U.S. has not had any gold or silver currency since 1968, right? You used to go up to the bank with gold and silver. They didn't take no money out of your shit because you didn't owe no taxes. You can't take no money out of gold. All this new shit, all this deficit shit, this shit is new. This shit barely 100 years old. Us borrowing money. When we had our own money, it was a gold. Your money must be back in something precious metal. That's the only thing that was recognized as money, gold and silver. That's why you think they took all the gold. All the gold is illegal. We're going to take all the gold. And if you walk with gold, we're going to make it illegal because it was the only thing that was known as a legal tender for money. Before bills, you had to get a gold or a silver, or however much. And they was responsible, right? And it was also responsible for saying how much the gold was worth. Like Bitcoin. They can say, well, here gold is worth this much per this, or in this state gold is worth this much. So you can go to different states according to how much you feel your gold is worth and live differently. According to how much gold and silver you got. Because different states have different laws. Like this now, California may be cheaper than, maybe higher than Tennessee. So you want to take your gold and go to Tennessee because you live better. Because they have the ability not to charge taxes, but to value their gold. Well, here the gold is worth this much. Well, over here, the word gold is worth this much. That's how you put taxes on gold. This much and this much, that much and that much. It's the same gold, but it's worth different in different places. Your gold in California, your gold in Massachusetts ain't gonna buy you the shit. Your gold will buy you in California or New York or Florida. Vice versa. Right? So you have to know about money. You have to know about the monies. The monies to understand how America is getting you. Let's go.
And to guarantee that the United States will pay them back, the United States gives them, and then to guarantee that the United States will pay them back, the United States gives them a $1,000 Treasury bond.
It's a private corporation owned and operated by the world bankers,
which pays interest to the Federal Reserve bankers.
Controlled by the Illuminati, and its purpose was to destroy the middle class in this country and thus our economy.
Huh? You see how old that is? How many times you hear about Donald Trump saying Joe Biden is destroying the middle class? How many times you heard under Joe Biden rule the middle class is being wiped out? This is how you do it. He just said it. This is how you destroy the Illuminati, by killing the banks, by killing the IRS, by auditing them, by stop paying these motherfucking taxes that America owes. Less taxes for us mean less. Less taxes for us mean less money for them and more money for us. Why is you tripping and complaining about us paying taxes to pay another motherfucker more money? A gang of criminals that stole our federal government. You want to pay these motherfuckers?
Now, I don't know about you, but I call this theft.
You see it unfolding now. You are seeing, and I predicted this well in advance, you are seeing the destruction of the economy of the United States.
You see, what they have done, folks, is just pocketed approximately $980 that they never had before.
And it will continue. It will not get better. It's downhill from here on out.
Plus, they're going to pocket the interest that they're going to earn on that $1,000 Treasury bond.
Interest. How many times have you heard interest? We are paying off the interest. We are paying. We got to knock off the interest. We have this much, but we are paying the interest. Interest.
Above and beyond the $1,000 that we have to pay them back. So they have literally stolen from the people of the United States of America approximately $980 plus the interest from the Treasury bond.
But people that live to 100 to 109, 4,000,007.
But this is why Donald Trump is getting deep into the IRS. Because look at the shit that the IRS, right, is giving money out to. Your money, so supposedly. That can be going into the country, that can be going to other shit. But look at all these dead people, 100-some years old, getting this money.
134,000. Wow, that's a lot. That means over 100 years old. There are 4 million people. I don't know too many. I know people that are doing great in their 90s, but not too many people over 100. But over 120, from 120 years old.
The United States Treasury, in return, has received just a little over $20 for the printing of those $1,001 bills. And that includes no profit. This is highway robbery.
People that are 120 years old up to 129, 3,472,000 people. Wow. You know, that can't possibly be, because the record is like, I think it's one person, a woman, lived to 127, but they have 3,472. Okay, but now we're going really in. People from 130 years old to 139-year-old, 3,936,000. Wow. I wonder if people are getting paid with all this. I mean, are these checks? And that's what we're checking right now.
The second way that they steal it is through the repayment of the loan with the interest that was never created.
Huh? You hear that? How the Federal Reserve get their money? They get their money off the interest of money that doesn't even exist. Imagine you got money. Imagine you got anything off of that. Imagine how you get paid thousands of dollars off of something that never existed. It's basically credit. They were. That's all it is. You're good for the $1 million. Trust us. Huh? But then you have to pay the interest off of money they created out of thin air. They win it all the way around. You have to pay them back the money that never existed, and then they get interest on the money that never existed. I wish I had a scheme like that.
People from 140 years old to 149 years old, 3,542,000, 140 years old and beyond. Now we're really going, because we're looking to break the record by 25 years.
What's up, Flower Boom? I see you in the chat. Long time no hear from.
You see, if the interest was...
You too, Okie Ding. Long time no hear from.
And because we're looking to break the record by 25 years.
You see, if the interest was never created, it has to come from somewhere. Where does it come from? From the sweat and the tears and the labor and the resources of the American people.
Huh? You are the interest. Ha! Where do they come up with the interest from? That they get the loan from? You are their credit. They have to say, look, man, I'm going to keep you paid by keeping these motherfuckers working, because I'm going to keep them in debt. So I'm going to get you paid. Don't worry about it. I got the credit. You are their credit. Did you hear what he said? You are their credit. How do they pay it? How do America pay off the interest? You. They take their money, do whatever the fuck they want to do with it, and they use you as credit, because you're going to take your black ass to work or white ass to work.
You see, if the interest was never created, it has to come from somewhere. Where does it come from? From the sweat and the tears and the labor and the resources of the American people.
There's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens.
So look, Donald Trump says, if the money that these motherfuckers wasted come from the blood, sweat, and tears from the American people, what I want to do is give these people their money they work for with their blood, sweat, and tears. So I'm going to take the money and give it back to them. I'm not going to give it to the Illuminati. I'm not going to give it to the Federal Reserve and make the rich people more richer. I'm going to give it to the people. Ain't that how you fuck up the Illuminati? Ain't that how you steal their money? By giving it back to the people? I pay you motherfuckers 20% back, and I'm going to give American people 20%, and I'm going to use the other 60% for something else. I'm not giving you motherfuckers the whole 100. Look what Donald Trump said. I'm not finna give you motherfuckers the whole 100%. All this money we get, and it's supposed to go off the paying the debt and pay you rich motherfuckers. I'm not finna do that. I'm going to give you motherfuckers 20%. Listen what Donald Trump is saying. I'm going to give you money. He's telling the Illuminati and the Federal Reserve what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you motherfuckers 20%. I'm not giving you the whole 100. And I'm using 60 for my motherfucking self. Huh? People don't see where he's going with this. They don't see who he's talking. He's talking straight to the Illuminati. I'm not giving you shit.
Of the American people.
There's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt, because the numbers are incredible, Elon.
Comes out of your substance.
So many billions of dollars, billions, hundreds of billions, and we're thinking about giving 20% back to the American citizens and 20% down to pay back debt and pay down debt, which is, if you look at value, if it were a real estate balance sheet, the debt is tiny, but we still want to pay it down.
You heard me? It's tiny, but we still want to pay it down. Give them 20%. Give them 20%. It's tiny, but we still want to pay it down. People don't know what Donald Trump is saying right now. They don't know who he's talking to. I'm talking to Illuminati. I'm going to give the people back their money. I'm going to give your ass 20% for you, 20% for them. It's a little something, you know what I'm saying? He didn't say where the other 60 is going. You know what I'm saying? But it's 20% for you and 20% for us. We find more money, we're going to give you more money. I'm going to give the people more money. Huh? This is how we're going to do this. It's 5,000 right now. Huh? Off of their blood, sweat, and tears. I'm not giving you all this money, Illuminati.
Doesn't matter. We don't look at it as a piece of real estate. It's America. We're going to get it down through intelligence, hard work, and as Elon said, a word called caring. You have to care.
It's the same as if I had $1 and I loan 10 cents
Look,
to.
he could explain this shit perfect, right? About how somebody's always going to be in debt and someone's always going to be above, right? He explained it perfectly. Unless you create something that don't exist, it's impossible. You have to say you have a six, like you say, we have a $6 trillion cap, and we hit 5 trillion. Well, that that other 2 trillion got to come out of nowhere, got to come out of existence, got to come out of nowhere. They have to make it up out of thin air. So $2 trillion they make up out of thin air. He explained it perfectly. Watch this.
It's the same as if I had $1 and I loan 10 cents to 10 people, each at 10% simple interest over 1 year's period, which means they must pay me back each 11 cents. But you see, in this little world that I've created here, there's only $1. That's all that exists. And I have loaned that dollar out to these 10 people who had no money before. Now, each one has 10 cents. Yet each one of them have to pay me back 11 cents. Now that equals $1.10, folks. How are they going to pay me back 11 cents each if all that exists in this whole world is $1? One of them has to go down the tubes in order to furnish the interest for the others to pay. That's how it works, folks. One of them has to go down the tubes in order for the others to pay back their money with interest. Either that, or I create out of thin air some more money so that the one who isn't doing so well can borrow more money from me. That puts more money out there.
And the byproduct of that transaction is inflation and...
Huh? You hear that? 1993, right? If some people fall, right? If some people fall and we have to bring them up so they can pay me back, I have to create something. And what did Joe Biden create, chat? Give me something that Joe Biden created because the government failed and he had to create something because he had to give these people back the money because he had to create inflation. He had to create inflation. Why? Because these people need their money back. And what was it that he done, right? Or what was it that he passed? Who was that? Marco, what's up? Marco, Trisha. Let's see you on the other channel. Marco and Trisha. Good look, tuning in. But what policy did he pass so we can get inflation? So we can get these millionaires back their money. so we can have more interest we have to pay. Huh? What was the name of that? Can anybody tell me the name of that? Huh? Not student forgiveness, right? It was an act that he done. Listen to what he say. Listen to what the dude say. Hold on, let me play it back one more time.
The one who isn't doing so well can I create out of thin air.
Right? The people ain't doing so well. Who did Joe Biden say wasn't doing so well? So this is going to help them out. I'm going to give them this and this little policy, and it's going to help them out.
Some more money so that the one who isn't doing so well can borrow more money from me.
They can borrow more money from me. or we can give them some money. Inflation Reduction Act. Woo wee, there you go. Inflation, Eugene Norris, what up with it? No Inflation Reduction Act, right? We got to give more money for the Inflation Reduction Act.
That puts more money out there, and the byproduct of that transaction is inflation, and everybody gets just a little bit poorer.
It is called the Inflation Reduction Act, yet even President Biden says he wishes it was not named that.
And still, he's making it the centerpiece of his re-election campaign. But what exactly is in it?
So that they can pay it back. But it requires that somebody always owes somebody else money, and it requires that the debt always escalate.
President Biden and his top aides have made
it requires that somebody always need to borrow money, right? With these programs, borrow this for this grant, you know, borrow this, student loans, and all this stuff. It requires for them somebody to owe some money, right? This is just like, I mean, this is 1993, but it's the same shit right now. Somebody got to owe some money for this shit to work.
That the debt always escalate.
President Biden and his top aides have made more than 120 stops to tout the Inflation Reduction Act since he signed it into law exactly 1 year ago.
This law is one of the biggest drivers of jobs and economic growth this country has ever seen.
But most Americans still don't know what's in it. In a recent Washington Post poll, only 27% said they know a good or great deal about the IRA.
Huh? They don't know about it because they're not supposed to know about it. It's not for the people. It's for the Federal Reserve. It's for interest. Borrow money to give it out so they can get their interest. They don't give a fuck where the money go. They don't give a fuck if it go to China, Russia, Jamaica, Afghanistan. They borrowing it because they have to pay interest on the money. That's how the bankers get rich. They loaning the money, they loan it to him, there. You know what I'm saying? And people are worried about how much money that they are sending over there. You know how much that $2.5 million costs to send over there? You know how much interest you got to pay on that $2.5 million that America borrowed on? That's not American money. That's money they borrow because guess what? We don't have no money of our own. We have to borrow from the federal government. So when you say that's America sent the money over there, no, the federal government sent the money over there, not America. The federal government had to okay that. The Federal Reserve had to okay that money.
In order that the theft of the money not be found out, that the people don't find out that I'm creating this money that I'm loaning them out of thin air.
I'm creating all this money from the Inflation Reduction Act for all this Green New Deal shit. I'm creating it out of thin air to cause what? Inflation. And people don't see this. I don't understand why people still follow Democrats and they don't see the shit. We don't get on education tomorrow, but this is about financial, how they crippling and enslaving people through money because the Democrats keeping you in debt. That's their job.
It makes the largest investment in clean energy and climate action in the world, touching every sector: power, transportation, buildings, industry, agriculture, and forestry.
Now, also there has to be a measure. There has to be a measure to remove some of this money from circulation constantly, because the constant creation of money that never existed before and putting it into circulation will create rampant, unbelievable inflation.
The law can...
Build Back Better plan, Inflation Reduction Act, Green New Deal. Every time you looked around, COVID relief. Every time you looked around, Joe Biden pumping money that we ain't got into the economy. For what? Everybody said we didn't need it. Everybody said that was the cause of inflation. All the experts came out before it. Even Barack Obama advisor came out and said don't do it. We don't need it right now. But guess what? The investors needed what? Interest.
Will create rampant, unbelievable inflation.
The law contains $500 billion in spending and tax breaks. $132 billion of it goes to clean energy projects. About half for electric vehicles and batteries, and half for renewable energy sources like wind and solar. The administration says that will create 86,000 new jobs. The law also beefs up parts of Obamacare, helps seniors pay for prescriptions, and caps insulin costs. Corporations and the wealthy are picking up the tab.
So it's raising interest rates. Well, the private sector.
Wait a minute, is that Joe Barron? Is that Joe Barron on there talking about? Tell me that's old Joe. Me and Joe had a hell of a show yesterday. Is that Joe, my boy Joe, on there? I gotta bring Joe on here one day.
Takes a direct hit.
One thing the Inflation Reduction Act doesn't seem to do is reduce the deficit.
Huh?
The bill was touted by...
Huh? It doesn't reduce the deficit. Huh? It adds to the deficit because it adds what? Interest. The money adds interest. You can get all the money out you want to, but you have to borrow that money from the federal government, which you have to pay back with interest.
Inflation Reduction Act doesn't seem to do is reduce the deficit. The bill was touted by Democrats as a way to bring it down $300 billion over a decade, but the final product will likely fall well short.
Well short. Like, not even at all.
Still a huge.
If there is not some way, some measure to ensure that some of that money is taken out of circulation. And to do this, I create an organization which is a collection agency to collect the debt that the people owe me. And in real life, this is called the Internal Revenue Service, which is also a private corporation incorporated in the state of Delaware.
Quote, Elon Musk's U.S. Doge service is seeking access to a heavily guarded IRS system that...
Huh? So he's going after the Federal Reserve. He's going after the IRS. Two entities that don't work for the United States. The Federal Reserve is not part of the United States. The IRS is not part of the United States. He's going after these two sons of bitches right here. Right? Ain't that what somebody who was going after the Illuminati would do? Go after the people that holds the most secrets and is probably crippling the country financially and stealing the money and shit like that and fucking us with this interest rates and all that old stuff. Like, wouldn't you want people to break up that organization? Or would you think Donald Trump and Elon Musk is doing? Right? You create you create another private organization to keep your money, to have to do the dog work for you, to collect all your tax money that America owes you. Right? You hire a watchdog. And that watchdog is who? The IRS.
If there is not some way...
likely fall well short.
That's still a huge...
If there is not some way, some measure to ensure that some of that money is taken out of circulation. And to do this, I create an organization which is a collection agency
to make sure money is taken out of circulation, right? Joe Biden said we're going to hire all these IRS agents so we can find the money to do what? Take it out of circulation.
to collect the debt that the people owe me. And in real life, this is called the Internal Revenue Service, which is also a private corporation incorporated in the state of Delaware.
Quote, Elon Musk's U.S. Doge service is seeking access to a heavily guarded IRS system that includes detailed financial information about every taxpayer, business, and nonprofit in the country, according to 3 people familiar with the activities, sparking alarm within the tax agency. The Washington Post reporting that Doge could get access to what's called the Integrated Data Retrieval System.
But you have the IRS, which doesn't work for America, have all your tax information, your bank information, have everything. But you scared of Elon Musk to get it, but this other motherfuckers who don't even work for the government have it.
Which enables tax agency employees to access IRS accounts, including personal identification numbers and bank information. It also lets them enter and adjust transaction data, eek, and automatically generate notices, collection documents, and other records. IDRS access is extremely limited. Taxpayers who have had their information wrongfully disclosed or even inspected are entitled by law to monetary damages. The request for Doge access to the system has raised deep concern within the IRS.
Deep concern within the IRS. Think about it. The IRS, the people that have the people that collect your money, the people that audit you, the people that's in your business, is telling somebody else they don't want them in their business. What kind of shit is that? And they protecting these people, saying don't fire them and keep them alive and keep. What the fuck are you talking about? These are the people who are going after your money. Why you want to keep them on the job?
According to the Washington Post, the White House is pressuring the IRS to give access to this system to one of Elon Musk's gang of young software engineers.
People from 150 years old to 159 years old. 1 million.
Oh, that's my boy Rodney. Rodney, you want to come on here, man? I can send a link to Rodney. I can send, because I sent you a link. It doesn't matter. I think any money that they find coming back to America, it doesn't matter as long as it don't go to the elite. Do you hear what they're saying? Do you hear where the money is going? Do you know about where the money is going to pay the Federal Reserve? Have you been listening? It's not going to pay America or no America debt. It's going in the pockets of the rich, because the IRS and the Financial Reserve, which we owe the money to, ain't nothing but a bunch of wealthy bankers. What are you talking about? You want to pay the money to the wealthy bankers? Is that what you're promoting?
345,000. These are in the, by the way, these are in the computer files. This is what they do well.
I'm going to bring you on, Rodney.
Elon, who are these Doge people? He said they're super brilliant computer people and they love the country.
A third way that they've been stealing from us. You see, it's called fractional reserve lending. The Federal Reserve Bank allows fractional reserve lending. What this means is they can lend out as much as 10 to 1 or more based upon funds held in reserve.
It's simple. Wait a minute. People from 160 years old to 169 years, 121,000. So 160-year-old people. 170 to 179,000, 6,087.
So a Federal Reserve Bank could, if they wanted to, and they do want to, and they do it frequently and have done it often, and it has resulted in a terrible thing. Say a Federal Reserve Bank has $1,000 on account in reserve. Now remember, this is not even real money. It's the fiat Federal Reserve notes to begin.
The fiat Federal Reserve notes, which is a legal tender that the Federal Reserve gave you. Hey, Rodney, please stay here. I'm going to bring you on. We ain't got too much longer to go up here. I'm going to bring you on, Rodney, because I want to hear what you guys say. Even if you got to leave and come back, please stay on. I'm going to bring you on live, Rodney.
With counterfeit. This bank can now loan out $10,000 as a bookkeeping entry, which it doesn't even have, and it's issued in the form of credit against the Federal Reserve Bank. Now, let's say they want to raise their assets in reserve so that they can loan out more money. They merely require the person that they loan this money to keep that money on deposit in their bank.
So they can loan out more money. We're going to loan you the money, but you got to keep the money in our bank. Huh? You can't take the money with you. It got to stay here. We just gave you the credit for it. That's all. You come get it when you want to. Not all of it.
So if they loan him $10,000, only $1,000 really exists now, and that's the fiat Federal Reserve notes, the counterfeit money. They require him to redeposit or to deposit this $10,000 in their bank. So he does this. They now have, as a bookkeeping entry, $11,000 as assets deposited in that bank. They can now loan out $110,000 against that $11,000 in assets. And again, if they want to be able to have more on reserve to loan out, all they have to do is require that whoever laid the loan the $110,000 to redeposit it in the same bank. And now folks, they can loan out $1,100,000 based upon an original reserve of $1,000.
Huh? That's how the rich get richer, Rodney. If you're still there, that's how the rich get richer. And the poor stay broke as shit. Off of your $1,000, they loan money to other people so they can pay more interest so they can give it back to the rich motherfuckers. It's a system, man.
But now, let's go into the real numbers. From 200 to 209 years old, 879 people. From 210 years old, I haven't met any of them. And if I did, I would bless them. I would worship the ground they walk on. 210 to 219 years, 866. From 220 years old to 229 years old, 1,039. And then you have two people. From 240 years old to 249 years old, one person. And there's one person that's 360 years old. That's just that. And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second. $520 million for a consultant on the environment. It's called Environmental, Social, and Governance. Investments in Africa and mobilize private sector resources. $520 million. Somebody got $520 million for an environmental, sounds like an environmental study. I've always been one that paid a lot of money for my environmental studies, but I paid like $50,000, not $520 million. $520 million for ESG. $25 million to promote biodiversity, conservation, and promote licit livelihoods by developing socially responsible behavior in.
And what I'm saying is, all the money that they borrowed to pay for this came with interest. So the rich only got richer.
The country of Colombia. Well, it's nice, $25 million to go into Colombia for something that nobody ever heard of. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. $40 million. $42 million for Johns Hopkins, great place, to research and drive social and behavior change in Uganda. $42 million. What about us? What about social change in our country? $70 million for a center at Purdue to research university-sourced, evidence-based solutions to developmental challenges. I mean, these are massive numbers on things that nobody ever heard about.
Huh? In places we ain't never been going.
$10 million for Mozambique voluntary medical male circumcisions.
Aspiring YouTubers and
male circumcisions.
$10 million for circumcisions in another country. $9.7 million for UC Berkeley to develop a cohort of Cambodian youth with enterprise-driven skills. In other words, let's teach them something about enterprise. What about our...
Where the fuck is this money going from? Like, this is shit you think is made up. This is shit, like, you don't think this shit need to be cut out? I don't give a fuck if you spending $1 on it. Like, why is it, this is Cambodian and African shoes, and like, this some shit you would never even, if somebody gave you a quiz show and asked you to pick some of the craziest shit, you wouldn't pick none of that. You wouldn't pick Cambodian research and fucking Africans wearing shoes and getting cats drunk. You wouldn't pick none of this shit. Circumcisions in Africa.
People, can we teach them about enterprise? $2.3 million for strengthening independent voices in Cambodia. $32 million to the Prague Civil Society Center, which is a very liberal group of people. Wonder how much of that money came back to the people that approved it. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $486 million to the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, including $22 million for inclusive and participatory political process in Moldova.
I can't even pronounce no shit like that.
And $21 million for voter turnout in India. Well, why are we giving $21 million to India? They got a lot of money. They're one of the highest taxing countries in the world in terms of us. We can hardly get in there because their tariffs are so high. I have a lot of respect for India. I have a lot of respect for the prime minister. He just left, as you know, 2 days ago. But we're giving $21 million for voter turnout. It's voter turnout in India.
Donald Trump, he like a voter turnout. Like, what the fuck we spending money on voter turnout in India for? They got their own shit.
What about like voter turnout here? We've done that, I guess. We did 500 million, didn't we? It's called the lockboxes. $20 million for fiscal federalism in Nepal. Listen to these numbers. This is all fraud. $19 million for biodiversity conservation in Nepal. $1.5 million for voter confidence. We want to give them confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $2.5 million for inclusive democracies in South Africa.
What the fuck? Inclusive democracies in South Africa. These shit, some of this shit don't even sound like it can even possibly exist.
$47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia.
This could be a comedy skit. Like this could be like on Saturday Night Live or Mad TV or something. Like somebody's coming up with some weird propositions to donate money to. We're gonna come up with some learning shit in Asia. Like what? They're doing pretty damn good.
Asia's doing very well. They're doing a lot better than we do in the schools, aren't they? $2 million to develop sustainable recycling models to increase socioeconomic cohesion among marginalized communities in Kosovo.
Marginalized communities in Kosovo. What the fuck is a marginalized community in Kosovo? That shit don't even make sense. You making shit up.
And Eshkali, and in Egypt. We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars.
Is to force the traitors who are sitting in Congress.
This is how you end it. This is how you end it, right? And this is how Donald Trump is ending this shit. This is how Donald Trump is getting to the root of the tutor.
To audit the Federal Reserve.
Alongside that, when you ask people, why aren't you really doing what you really want to do with your life? Invariably they say, because I've got to pay the mortgage, mate.
In fact, Paul has been pushing this issue since 1981. But what does it mean? Simply put, auditing the Federal Reserve operating behind a cloak of mysteries would demystify some of that.
Understandable. So, the more you can get people, businesses, and governments in debt, the more you can artificially inflate the cost of the basics of life, the more you are pressurizing people to serve your system, be a robot and a clone of it, so that they can earn the money to pay for the basics of life.
Earn the money to pay for the basics of life: water, food, energy, you know what I'm saying, housing. You make it enough money to pay for the basics of life because you got to pay the system. You hear that? You hear that, Rodney? You got to pay the system, man.
This is why the world financial system has been designed as a prison.
And the only answer to this entire problem, I can guarantee you, is to nationalize the Federal Reserve.
It all comes down in the end, in terms of these society-controlling institutions, to what I call the global cult, which is a global network of secret societies and semi-secret groups with ultimately, if you go deep enough in the rabbit hole, a mission control, a central organizational center.
And he's talking about, this is what I'm talking about, Rodney. This is the nigga This is who you want to pay your money to. This is who owns we're not paying it to a government. We're paying it to people. We're paying it to bankers. The money is going to world bankers richer than Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Bankers.
Unless.
And you know why you don't know? And you know why you don't know how much they make? Because they don't get audited or they don't pay taxes, so they don't have to report their money. They way richer than Elon Musk and Donald Trump put together.
Nationalize the Federal Reserve.
People say, why is the American government trillions and trillions of dollars in debt? Ridiculous. How could it possibly do that? Very simple when you see how it works. And this is how it works around the world as well. One transaction in one day in America. The American government wants to borrow, say, $1 billion more than it's actually taken in taxation. Now it's the government. It could actually print its own money interest-free if it chose to, but of course,
we can print our own money interest-free with no taxation, or no, the interest not going to a bunch of wealthy bankers. But guess what? We can't. But Donald Trump is trying to end that.
actually print its own money interest-free if it chose to. But of course, if it did that, you're removing massive amounts of power from the global banking system, which is controlled by the same people that decide who's going to be president of the United States.
This explains why countries tend to respond to the same kind of situations in extraordinarily the same way.
So
they control everybody except when Donald Trump got in office, because Donald Trump is fucking with the church's money. Huh? They control everything. The bankers control everything.
In extraordinarily the same way.
So they don't print their own money interest-free. They issue an IOU to a cartel of private banks known laughably as the Central Bank of America, known as the Federal Reserve System. The Federal Reserve System is supposed to be the Central Bank of America. It is a cartel of private banks.
Declare all of those who have had a hand in the ownership or the creation of the Federal Reserve to be criminals.
Lock up the criminals who own it.
Arrest them, seize all of their assets, and issue United States notes, non-interest notes.
The present head of the Federal Reserve is Alan Greenspan, Bilderberg Group Trilateral Commission Council on Foreign Relations, who took over from Paul Volcker, who was there at the time of Reaganomics and Thatcherism. Paul Volcker, Bilderberg Group Trilateral Commission Council on Foreign Relations. You get the picture.
The U.S.'s powerful central bank controls interest rates and ultimately the money supply. But very, very few Americans actually understand how that works. And the Federal Reserve is happy to keep it that way.
The thing is, if you're talking about control and the need to control, then you look at society as it's structured, and control is overwhelmingly dictated.
If everyone went to the banks tomorrow and took out what they theoretically have deposited there, the banks would be bankrupt so many times it'd be in the Guinness Book of Records.
Because the bank doesn't have the money that you put in. The bank doesn't have everybody's money. If everybody was to go into their bank and say, look, man, we need our money, right? We want to draw our money out because this or that, right? We want to draw our money. It happened in China. And they closed down the banks. The Federal Reserve, the federal government or the Federal Reserve will close down the banks, and nobody will get nothing out of them because they will seize the banks because they own them. They will seize the money in the bank because they own it. They would not allow the American government to give out a dime. So, because they don't have it. It's impossible for them to give out. They can't give out what they don't have. You will cripple the bank system if everybody drew their money out at once. China done it, and they had to put them motherfuckers on martial law. About 2-3 years ago, right after the COVID. They do not have your money because the money do not exist.
Cancel the debt, which will then bankrupt the Illuminati.
Cancel the debt. Say, fuck that. Look, we're not paying you no $1 trillion. Come and get it like Tyson. Come and get it. Come and get it with blood. We not fit to pay your debt off, and we fit to nationalize our dollars. We will be out of debt tomorrow, right? If we just cancel the debt, we don't owe them shit anyway. They stole this shit. They putting all these interest on. We can't audit it. They don't pay taxes. They'll have to report to the IRS. They control the IRS. This is a crooked ass monetary system, right? Which Donald Trump is trying to clean up, right? Get rid of the Federal Reserve, like Donald Trump has said so many times, and nationalize our money.
The records.
Cancel the debt, which will then bankrupt the Illuminati, which is exactly what we ought to do.
They haven't got it. So when we take out a loan, well, please tell me, Mother, this is not true. They type in to your account the amount you flipping loaned. That's all they do. From that moment, you start paying interest on money that doesn't exist.
Brian Doherty, my colleague at Reason Magazine, described the Fed in the following terms for an article about Paul's Audit the Fed legislation. Quote, with its power over interest rates and the supply of U.S. dollars, the Federal Reserve System is the most influential economic institution on the planet.
Huh? On the planet, Craig, with its interest rate. Did you hear that one more time? With its high interest rates. We need to audit about. Send Ron Paul in there. Fucking the libertarians are right. It ain't never been audited. People been trying to audit it since the 1940s. We don't know shit up in there. Audit it.
Legislation. Quote, with its power over interest rates and the supply of U.S. dollars, the Federal Reserve System is the most influential economic institution on the planet. That influence comes surrounded by an impenetrable aura of mystery. Hardly anyone, citizen or congressman, completely understands what the Fed does, how it operates, or what the effects of its actions will be.
Print constitutional money, which cannot be usurped, which cannot lead to our destruction.
Now it's the government. It could actually print its own money interest-free if it chose to. But of course, if it did that, you're removing massive amounts of power from the global banking system, which is controlled by the same people who decide who's going to be president of the United States. So they don't print their own money interest-free. They issue an IOU to a cartel of private banks known laughably as the Central Bank of America, known as the Federal Reserve System. The Federal Reserve System is supposed to be the Central Bank of America. It is a cartel of private banks.
And go back to what we're supposed to do.
While we build up our reserves of gold and silver so that we can once again mint constitutional money.
Right? Mint constitutional money. Right? That's what I should have. What does the Constitution? That's what I should have wrote. What does the Constitution consider as money? That's what I should have. Okay, here you go. What does the Constitution consider as money?
According to the United States Constitution, United States money is expressed in dollars, and all United States coins and currency, including Federal Reserve notes, are legal tender for all debts, public charges, taxes, and dues.
You lying.
Defining the noun dollar is necessary in order to know what is the money of.
You're lying. This is not it. It's gold. It's silver. She lying. This whole is lying. This is not no dollar. This is from the federal. This is from the federal government. This is the federal. Dollars is federal notes. It is not no damn American money. It's not the. It is not in the damn. In the Constitution, we made it in the Constitution. We're in 2014. Where is that? 2018. To taxes, duties, imposes. Money, ball, credit to regulate commerce, nations among these several states established a union form. Let me see if this is right. Let me see if this is. Let me see is this it right here. It's supposed to be gold, damn it. We ain't finna read all this shit. This is some other shit. We ain't finna read all this. This is some other shit. Let's go back to the video. We get Roderick on here.
And quit contracting for benefits.
And would never have had to pay any interest on what we owed ourselves.
We wouldn't have to pay our own self-interest like we've done back in the days when we had the gold coins and we had the gold certificates and the silver certificates. We didn't have to pay no interest on that. Now we do.
Escaping from the laws of nature, and there's a terrible consequence for that. You can't contract for somebody else to keep you alive.
Now, the purpose of auditing the Fed is to demystify the institution and allow government...
Well, you hear that? Wait, one more time. You can't depend on anybody to keep you alive, including your government, because you'll fucking die if you wait on your government to keep you alive. You don't serve them no purpose.
Consequence for that. You can't contract for somebody else to keep you alive.
Now, the purpose of auditing the Fed is to demystify the institution and allow government auditors from the Government Accountability Organization to open the books, scrutinize its dealings with foreign banks, and better understand why its 7-member board decides to raise and lower interest rates, increase the money supply, and take all sorts of other actions that...
7-member board. You hear that? 7-member board. Do we need to audit why this 7-member board got to do the interest rates, inflation, they control everything. Why? Let's audit these motherfuckers.
Its dealings with foreign banks and better understand why its 7-member board decides to raise and lower interest rates, increase the money supply, and take all sorts of other actions that can cause or lower inflation. Now, many libertarians believe that this is actually the big prize. Cutting government is all well and good, of course, but until and unless the American people have more of a say, or at least more of an understanding of the actions of elite banking institutions to perhaps promote their own self-interest.
People think it's Elon Musk and Donald Trump. They overlook the bankers because the Democrats want to keep it on Elon Musk and Donald Trump. They don't want you to see, or they don't want to tell you where that money is really going, to the rich bankers. Donald Trump or Elon Musk don't own no banks.
We won't ever have a responsible monetary policy.
If we are not willing to do this, if we will not do it, then we are doomed.
The government can just print more money whenever it wants without disclosing its actions. Our fragile economy will ultimately always be in the hands of a small number of unelected bureaucrats.
Huh? Unelected. They talk about Elon Musk, but they're not talking about the motherfuckers who really getting the money. These rich bankers who tell you how much inflation and tax rates and all that shit go up. These rich ass bankers who getting this money, they worried about Elon Musk and Donald Trump, but not the rich bankers who really control this shit. The elite. The elite of the elite.
Whenever it wants, without disclosing its actions, our fragile economy will ultimately always be in the hands of a small number of unelected bureaucrats. It shouldn't be just right-leaning people, by the way, who are in love with this idea, and it isn't. Progressive foes of powerful financial, unaccountable interests should welcome greater disclosure, and in fact, some of them do. Some left-leaning people have expressed support for Paul's efforts to audit the Fed over the years. In fact, when Senator Ron Paul's son, proposed such a measure in 2016, Senate Democrats came together to block it, with 2 exceptions: Tammy Baldwin and, you guessed it, Bernie Sanders.
Democrats will block the audit of the Federal Reserve, because they're getting paid for the motherfuckers who control the Federal Reserve, the bankers.
Supported auditing the Fed. Now, I hope leftists like...
Why you think Barack Obama saved the banks? Why you think he saved the banks back in the days? Because the bankers he's in the bankers' pockets. That's why he gave all that money to save the banks. They need the banks to pay the rich bankers. That money went to the pocket of the elite.
Sanders continue to offer support for the idea now that it could actually really be happening. I know a lot of people on the left are combative with Musk right now. Musk Doge is, of course, doing a lot of things progressives disagree with. I support them. It's acting to root out waste, fraud, and abuse.
And there is no way out other than what I have just told you.
You have to be responsible within your life to keep yourself alive. And if you can't do it, then you have to die. That's the law of nature.
You have to die. That's the law of nature, right? That's the law of nature, right? Before we bring Roger on, you on here, Roger? We got 1 more minute. We're going to bring you on right now, right? Now, I was talking about gold and silver and all of this, right? where is our gold and silver at? Where do anybody know where America's gold and silver at? Do anybody know where America's gold and silver at? I'm gonna let this play, and I'm gonna rewind it one more time, and I'm gonna let it play again. The whole thing, because it explains itself. Where in the hell is America's gold at, y'all? Fort Knox. Owls Pay, Fort Knox. Who gets it over here? It's me, Joe. Is that Joe? Oh, no, Joe still ain't answering me. I don't know if that's Joe Barron or what, right? Well, Fort Knox. And what did Doge say they going to audit? Who did Donald Trump say Doge is going to audit? Right? To see if America's money is where America's money is supposed to be? No other than Fort Knox. Huh?
Way out other than what I have just told you.
You have to be responsible.
But William Cooper said, ain't no gold in Fort Knox. William Cooper said that gold been gold since the Nixon era. Because ain't nobody went to Fort Knox yet. Ain't nobody edited the IRS. Ain't nobody edited the Fort Knox yet. Donald Trump said he going to edit both of them. Audit both of them. I said edit. Audit both of them. Huh? Well, William Cooper say Fort Knox, it ain't no gold in Fort Knox. And Donald Trump say, shit, I'm finna see it there. If the gold not there, I'm going to be upset.
Within your life to keep yourself alive. And if you can't do it, then you have to die. That's the law of nature.
Now let me acquaint you with another fact. There is very little, if any, gold in Fort Knox.
We're going to go into Fort Knox to make sure the gold is there.
It was all sold as at a discount during the Nixon administration, and only insiders were ever told that the sale would take place.
You know that we're going to go into Fort Knox? You know about that? How is that bad, Bum?
It was sold at a discount from $32 an ounce on the world gold market, when at the time the price of gold was well over $100 an ounce.
We'll see what happens. But one of the things we do want to look, I mean, we hope everything's fine with Fort Knox, but we're going to go to Fort Knox, the fabled Fort Knox, to make sure the gold is there.
The American people were never told, never had a chance to buy any of that gold. And the people who bought it at a discount from $32 an ounce made a handsome profit at the expense of the people of this country. What are they guarding at Fort Knox? They're guarding the secret that there's no gold. That's what they're guarding.
If the gold isn't there, we're going to be very upset.
Out other than what I...
Trump said the gold is not there. We're going to be very upset. We're going to be very upset. You know we were. You see how Trump was excited about that. You know we're going to Fort Knox. Trump knows something is up with Fort Knox. He want to edit the IRS. I mean, he want to audit the IRS. He want to slash IRS agents. He want to minimize the federal government. He want to audit fucking Fort Knox, right? And he want to give the money back to the people and not back to the Illuminati, to the banker, and pay the debt off. We're gonna give you 20%. What more could Donald Trump do to prove that he's not fucking with the Illuminati? The Illuminati is trying to fuck with him because he's trying to fuck with their money. Roger, you on there to bring your ass on right now.
Another fact. There is very little, if any, gold
Where you at,
in Fort
Roger?
Knox.
We're going to go into Fort Knox to make sure the gold is there.
It was all sold as at a discount during the Nixon administration, and only insiders were ever told that the sale would take place.
You know that we're going to go into Fort Knox? You know about that?
You know about that?
How is that bad, Bum?
It was sold at a discount from $32 an ounce on the world gold market, when at the time the price of gold was well over $100 an ounce.
We'll see what happens. But one of the things we do want to look, I mean, we hope everything's fine with Fort Knox, but we're going to go to Fort Knox, the fabled Fort Knox, to make sure the gold is there.
The American people were never told, never had a chance to buy any of that gold. and the people who bought it at a discount from $32 an ounce made a handsome profit at the expense of the people of this country. What are they guarding at Fort Knox? They're guarding the secret that there's no gold. That's what they're guarding.
If the gold isn't there, we're going to be very upset.
If they guard that secret, Donald Trump said he's going to be very upset. Roderick, you on here? If Roderick, you on here, let me know. I'll bring you on right now. Roderick, you can come on right now with your Trump hating ass. I've been waiting to get a Trump hater on here for the longest. If you on here, bring your ass, man. Bring your ass, man. Where you at, Roger? We've been waiting on a Trump supporter to come on here, man, and dare try to debate me, man. Let me go in the thing. Where you at, man? We need you, man. We need you. Where you at? Where you at? I know you on the West Coast, so it's still early for you. Where you at? I can bring you on right now, brother. I can bring you on right now, my brother. Huh? I can bring your Trump hating ass on right now. We've been waiting for Trump. We've been waiting for it. I've been waiting to destroy a Trump hater live. I've been waiting for one of them to get. Maybe he saw this video and ran off. Maybe like this nigga right here know what he talking about. This nigga right here is shy. I'm not finna debate this nigga right here. He was on here earlier. Come on, man. Don't make me call you, man. I'm finna call you, man. I'm finna see you still have a heart to sleep in the park. Let me see if he's on here. Do I have to call him? Do I have to call him and tell him this thing is on? Germany wanted gold about 20 years ago. They bought, but they didn't get it. I bet they're getting. Hold on. Where the hell? Let me call this dude. Let me call this dude, man. See where he at. See where this dude at. See where this dude at, man. Oh no, he chickened out. Oh, where you at, man? Oh, I'm finna put the link up. I'm finna put the link up right now. Will you come on in, man? All you gotta do is click on that link. Hold on, let me see. Where the hell the link at? Let me see. Oh shit, where the hell the link at? I got you. I'm finna send the link right now. Hold on. Let me send this link. Boom, copy. Copy. Let me see. Let me see. Copy. Put that up in there. Oh! Why the hell is it? Let me see. Comments. Okay, here you go. Right, I got to do it up in here. Oh, yeah. There you go. Right there. Bam. You see that link right there? All you got to do is click on that link. Just call my name. Right there. All you got to do is click that link, man. You can click that link and we're going to bring you right on in. You're going to come right on in. Huh? We've been waiting to destroy a Trump hater. We didn't think you had enough heart after the election. We know y'all been hiding out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all been deep into the emotion and the feelings of things and stuff. Not the men, but you know what I'm saying? A lot of the women, they've been emotionally distraught and all kind of shit. So we want you to come on here and tell me what you tell us your 2 cents. Let's watch a quick video while you come. Let's go on my history, see what I was watching early. I was watching some kind of news early. Let's go into history. Let's go into some history. Oh, I know some history. I know news we ain't saw. Hold on till he come on. I know some shit we ain't saw today. The pipe bomb man. See you in court. Not that one. Not that one. Where we at? Where the new story at? Okay, here go one. Here go a story right here. Here go a story right here. Bam. Here go a story right here. ICE agents
The Trump administration parting ways with the head of its Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, division. For that story, we'll go to NBC's Julia Ainsley. Julia, you're the first person to report this, and it comes after simmering tensions from President Trump and Tom Homan about the pace of deportations and the effort there, right?
Yeah, Allie, I know our heads can be spinning at the end of this week with everyone who's in and who's out in this administration, but the context of this one here is really important. Caleb Vitello is someone who was assigned as acting ICE director because he was a longtime career law enforcement individual who also had close personal ties previously working with Stephen Miller at the NSC under the previous Trump administration. Stephen Miller thought he was someone who was strong and would get mass deportations up, but as we've reported, those deportation numbers have not kept pace with the expectations that Trump or his border czar, Tom Homan, had. In fact, we know Trump has recently been angry, and Tom Homan has been blaming people within ICE for not getting those numbers up. Vitello himself is the one who gave those ICE agents a directive to say that they had to be arresting between 1,200 and 1,500 migrants a day. We know the numbers aren't anywhere near that number. In fact, they hover around 800 a day.
So we're about 400 to 700 show. You know what I'm saying? We're about 400 to 700 show. We got to step up the game. 400 to 700 show today. We got to hit more raise. You know, I know where they can get a gang of them at. They got to come to LA. They can get 1 million of them quick.
And many of those haven't even led to deportation. So now we understand that Caleb Vitello will stay on at ICE. He will be overseeing the day-to-day arrest and targeting of immigrants, but they are looking for someone else to fill this job as acting ICE director, someone who then would go possibly before the Senate to try to be confirmed to this position. They want someone more political, we're hearing, someone even more closely tied to the Trump administration, and someone who they think will get them bigger results, Allie. What this says is that the Trump administration is frustrated with the deportation so far, and they want heads to roll as a result of it.
And a lot of eyes going to be on whoever they put in the ICE director position, given the high priority on aggressive deportation enforcement this administration has put there. Julia Ainsley, thank you for that reporting.
Thank you, Julia. Where you at, Roderick? We waiting on you, man. We wait you to hit the click. You hit the button, man. We wait. Is he up in here? Yeah, he's not up in here. Are we waiting on you, Roderick? We are waiting on you. We are here for you. We are here for you, Roderick. Let's see what else I was watching in my history. I probably was gonna do that yesterday. Let's see what else I was seeing. I was watching in my history. Where you at, Roderick? You don't tell me you chicken out. Don't tell me you chicken out. Oh, you gonna look at Black history. If you ain't after Black history, we out. Black history. Donald Trump.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this.
Donald Trump and Black history. They said Donald Trump ain't supposed to be celebrating Black history. It's racist for him to celebrate Black history.
Kobe Bryant and Muhammad Ali. He also mentioned at the same time that there were going to be statues of Kobe Bryant and Muhammad Ali. So it just seems a little hypocritical that you would be doing everything in your power to sort of outlaw the teachings of what, say, a Muhammad Ali stood for. Like, are you going to tell people that he stood against war, that he stood against these very progressive civil rights issues?
That's not his job, bitch. He's not a history teacher. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to bring up awareness. The other people bring up Muhammad Ali and what he stood for. Why you got to have a white man? Why you can't do it? Why Barack Obama can't do it? Why LeBron James can't do it? Huh? Why Donald Trump got to do the history of Black History Month?
That doesn't seem to be the part of it. And what I noticed there from that clip is that he had to read letter by letter about what these people, what these great Americans have done in terms of progress for our country.
But at least he didn't try to go off the mind and name somebody LL Cool J. Cool. That motherfucker said, that boy right there, LL Cool J. Cool. That boy that man got biceps. Like, what? LL Cool J, Cool J, L Cool J, J Cool. I was like, what the fuck did he say? Cool and Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah. Who is Queen Latifah? It's Latifah. Oh, there we go. I heard him. I heard him say bloop. Oh man, welcome to the stage, man. You want yourself big or you want yourself like that, man? You want yourself small inside.
Don't matter, bro. As long as you can hear me.
We can hear you loud and clear, man. We can hear you loud and clear, man.
All right.
Okay, now what's your problem with Donald Trump, man? What's your major problem with Donald Trump?
He's a racist, man.
What makes you? What proof do you have that he's a racist?
Because he wouldn't rent to black people early in his career.
Do you know it was he wouldn't rent to a certain group of people, and that was people that was on certain assistance, right? And it couldn't afford, because that one was when red light was coming out, and they were trying to put a lot of poor people in a lot of, and get them like certain, like stimulus, like Section 8 and housing and things like that, and put them in different neighborhoods. So Donald Trump was turning them people down because he didn't want them people. It was Mexicans, it was blacks, it was white, it was low income people. It wasn't just blacks.
Well, that's even worse, man.
Right. First of all, Donald Trump is a businessman, and Donald Trump wasn't the only person that done that. It was lots of other people that was doing that too. It wasn't just white Donald Trump. It was also black owners, Muslim owners. Donald Trump wasn't the only person that got sued. A lot of people got sued for discrimination because they wouldn't rent to certain people. It wasn't just Donald Trump.
So, do you know his history?
Yes, I know his history.
Do you know what about his grandfather and his father?
His grandfather, his father wasn't a KKK or resident. His father got caught in a fight at a movie theater or some kind of a brawl or something like that, and it happened to be some white supremacy up in there. But they never, he was never connected, or he was never part of no white history or no KKK, anything like that. It was a fight, and they labeled it as a white on black a fight or something like that, and they labeled it Nazis and things like that. But he was never part of the Nazi. He never was part of no Klan or anything like that.
Man, I think I've seen pictures, and I don't have proof right here.
I got Google. We can Google it. I got Google. Google works.
Yeah,
would you want me to Google Donald Trump, father of the Nazi?
Yeah, with his father in the uniform. With his father in the KKK uniform.
Okay, I feel okay. Donald Trump father. Let me screen share. Let me screen share so you can see
the KKK uniform.
Okay, I'm gonna do it right now. Donald Trump father in the KKK uniform. Let me Google that, because Google works. Any proof we need that you say you have, right? We can Google. You see the screen?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I see the screen right there.
Okay.
You gonna do that?
Donald Trump father in the KKK uniform.
Mm-hmm.
According to Newsweek.com, Donald Trump and his father Fred Trump at an unspecified event.
Let me see.
A viral social media post claimed that the former president's father was a member of white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan.
Let's see. Well, Donald Trump's father. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Fred Trump. Hold on. Wait. We're gonna read the article.
Let's read it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, Donald Trump's father's support among far-right groups was allowed him throughout the political career. The former president family dining with white supremacists and the Holocaust. Nick Fuentes says Trump, that don't say nothing about Trump, who's leading polls. Okay, while it's not clear whether Trump's former associate in comments with. God damn it.
Yeah, I see that keep messing up, huh?
Okay. Well, on a claim that appeared online this weekend concerned his father, Fred Trump, who was being a member of the Ku Klux Klan, right? Right. Former video of South Carolina. Let me see. Former Republican. It doesn't say anything about the story behind it. The post does not include any supporting source that appears to be no immediate evidence that suggests Fred Trump was a member of the famous white supremacy group. However, the claim may refer to an incident in 1927 when Trump's father was arrested at a KK rally in Queens. The incident was picked up by news site by Being Born in 2015. It cited a New York Times article from June 27 saying Fred Trump was named among 7 men who were arraigned following a free fall between 1,000 Klansmen and policemen. The article said that Fred Trump of 175-24, whatever, Jamaica, a follow-up article, Washington Post, noted that this address matched records of the 1990 post census, right? Further investigation by Vince 2006 cited an article in Long Island Press, a clipping from which is no longer cited on sites that one of the refugees were sudden mercy that Newsweek has been verified identity of the however, advice is none of the articles prove that Fred Trump was a member of the Klan, and he could have been a bystander. So, what proof did you say you have?
I'm gonna tell you this though. Well,
Wait.
that's
No, can I ask you a question? What I just said was a fight, right? And they labeled him as a Klan member, and he was never part of no Klan. There's never been no proof. But in that picture, it's not a real picture. It's not a real clipping, right? So what you're saying, what you're basing his racism on, and saying he was racist, two stories I just told you, it was proven to be a lie. So what other story? Do you have?
No. You can't. You can't prove that was no lie. It hasn't been proven.
It said right here, his father was not arrested as a KKK member. It hasn't been no proof that he's a KKK member. Any article, no proof.
Okay. Lionel. Let's look at it from this point of view.
I'm looking at it from the facts.
No. What was he doing at the rally?
Huh? It wasn't. It could have been a bystander. If you want to talk about that, Joe, huh?
What was he doing at the rally?
It doesn't make a difference what he was doing at the rally. That's like saying that what I'm doing at a Black Lives Matter rally, and I'm not for Black Lives Matter. I can look, I can watch, I can go around, but he could have been a bystander, like somebody said. It was a march, and it was, you know what I'm saying, people coming there. You don't know what the purpose was him there, but it was proven that he wasn't a KKK member or a Klansman. He's never been proven to be a
can you see the part in this article where it says all of the arrestees were berobed marchers? See that part?
But it said it said he could have been a bystander. It's no proof.
Well, man, okay, Lionel.
There's no proof. His charges. He wasn't charged. He wasn't charged.
He had on the robe, Lionel. He had on the robe.
That picture wasn't real.
Lionel. It's a fact he had on the robe, right?
That picture's not real.
He got arrested. No. We're not even looking at the picture. We're looking at the words.
Look, man.
All of the arrestees were berobed marchers. Berobed marchers. He could have been a bystander, but he was a berobed marcher.
Can I ask you a question, right?
Sure.
This article came out. It said right here. It said 2025, right? 2015, right? Boy, the incident happened in 1927. So you mean to tell me I'm going to cite this article from the New York Times about that's a left-wing leaning magazine about an incident that happened in 1927.
Well, you know what? No, I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do your thing. The incident that happened in 1927. I'm supposed to believe that when there's no records, and they made all these records up. There's no record citing anything of this incident, even Donald Trump being arrested, what he was arrested for, or no records of anything. They don't have an arrest record, but I'm going to believe a report in 2015 from an incident in 1927. That's what you want me to believe?
Well, let's just break the article down.
I'm just asking you. This is an article from 2015. This is not an article from 1927. If they brought up an article from 1927, then I can understand. But they brought up incidents and they said some arrests and they matched the.
Let's read. Let's read. Read, Lionel. Look.
Let's go on to the next stat that he's racist.
No.
I need to know the next one how he's racist.
Hold on.
This doesn't prove me racist.
Listen.
Even if I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Can I read some more? Can I read some more to you?
This is over. Let's give you the benefit of the doubt.
I can't read no more to you.
The article says there's no proof. So what are we still reading for?
Well, I need to read more. We can break the article down.
I'm finna do this. I'm finna give you the benefit of the doubt, right? I'm gonna say Donald Trump's father is a racist and he's the head of the KKK, right?
We don't even have to say he's head of the KKK. For the sake of
the argument, okay, we're gonna say he's racist, right?
Yeah, okay.
How does that prove Donald Trump is a racist?
Are you anything like your father?
No.
All right.
My son not nothing like me.
All right. Let's go on. What else you got?
No, I'm defending Donald Trump. I want to know what else do you got? You had I heard all these arguments before, so I'm well prepared for everything you have to say about Donald Trump.
So
I can look it up. We got Google.
Well, you won't even let us discuss it any further, man. It says
because but I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I said Donald Trump's father can be racist. You know what I'm saying? We can say he's racist, right? And I asked you what does that prove of Donald Trump being racist? And you said my father. You ended the argument. I tried to keep it going. You ended it.
Okay. When he said he didn't want black people counting his money.
I didn't hear about that.
You didn't hear about that?
Uh-uh.
He said he didn't want black people counting his money. He said he'd rather have Jews with yarmulkes counting his money.
Donald Trump don't want. Let me look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Donald, but I can understand that. I feel the same way. Black people counting this money. Black people.
Well, he didn't. Well, whenever the mafia had to come into the casinos, he had to tell the black people to go get in the back.
Go get in the back.
Yeah. The mafia didn't want to see no black people, so they had to go get in the back.
Okay. Black guys counting money. My money, I hate it. According to Donald Trump. Right. Okay. It's a fact pack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. According to former President Donald Trump Plaza Casino, Donald Trump said he hated black. Donald Trump said, but this said somebody said he said it.
All right, man. All right.
I mean, there's no video, there's no news clipping. There's somebody said he said it. Like this is somebody, this ex-employee said he. I mean, you got something else?
Huh?
You got something else?
All right. What? So he was talking about white players too when he called the NFL players sons of bitches.
He said any player that kneels, white or black. It was white players.
Any player, white or black.
He said disrespect the flag. Any player that disrespect the flag, fire that son of a bitch.
Okay, man. All right.
Now,
well,
can I show you something?
Huh?
Can I show you some things?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, let me show you some things. Donald Trump, what? Donald Trump wins Rainbow Award with Rosa Parks.
According to Snopes.com, in 1986, Trump joined several other prominent Americans, such as Rosa Parks and Muhammad Ali, as recipients of an Ellis Island Award.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I want to show you some Donald Trump speech at Rainbow Coalition. All right. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Well, it is an honor to be here, and I was with Jesse last year, and we had a lot of fun, and it was a little different. We had a real panel where you asked questions and everything, and we didn't do so much speaking, so I'm going to get off here very quickly because I want to hear some questions. Jesse...
Now, what's your point, man?
Wait. We're going to hear this racist shit. It ain't going to take that long. We're going to hear this racist shit.
Most of the wealth in this country is in the hands of a few. And I thought to myself, is that a bad thing? What's wrong with that, Jesse? But he did have an expression last.
You see how many black men was in that front row?
No, I didn't.
Okay, watch when they show the front row. Watch how many black men is in that front row.
Last year. And I was just telling Roger. He had an expression last year.
Well, the place he had is a black function, right?
I thought it was a great expression.
Hold on.
He said, listen, the wall will fall. $3 a foot.
All right. This is a deal he made with Jesse Jackson. The black man. This is a deal he made with Jesse Jackson. I just want you to hear this deal right quick. This is all.
Good deal with you. I'll get you some space. You'll pay about $40 a foot. And he said, no. I don't want to pay 40. I said, how about 30? No. It was the cheapest deal I ever made in the history of 40 Wall Street. Is that right? He got it for nothing.
Huh? That's all black people right there. Right? No white people in the audience saying he gave Jesse Jackson, right, a business, whatever, for nothing, for free. This racist son of a bitch. Can I show you something else?
Yeah, go ahead.
Donald Trump wants rather be a black man. Donald Trump rather be a black man. Be a black man. Hold on.
A well-educated black has a tremendous advantage over a well-educated white in terms of the job market. And I think sometimes a black may think that they don't really have the advantage or this or that, but in actuality, today, currently, it's a great, I've said on occasion, even about myself, if I were starting off today, I would love to be a well-educated black because I really believe they do have an actual advantage today.
and you believe that?
Wait.
That?
I'm just. Wait.
You believe that?
Huh?
You believe that? Man, while the dude was president, man, he told 30,000 lies.
Huh? Who said that?
That's on documented too. That's documented too. You can look that up.
Huh?
He told 30,500 lies, brother.
Okay.
While he was president the first time.
Okay, I want to show you something else.
You pork. I'm a squatter.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. He did whatever he had to do.
Hold on. Let me show you something. Let me show you what this racist son of a bitch done. Let me show you what this racist son of a bitch done.
He did whatever he had to do to look good to whoever he had to do.
I want to hear your response after this. I want you to respond to this, right?
I am a squatter in Donald Trump's building, Trump Tower, in New York City. As you can see, I'm in my pajamas. There's Central Park right there. And that tall building is the Essex House on Central Park West, near 59th Street. I came in here about 9 years ago and snuck in the building and just started occupying one of the empty rooms in here. By the time our housekeeper noticed I was here the next day, she called the manager and they called the New York City police. Who came up here and told me I had to leave or I would be arrested. When I told them I would not go, they contacted Mr. Trump over the phone, and he came down here. Instead of him evicting me off the property, he said that I can stay. And it's been 8 years I've been here. Not only did he not evict me off the property, he makes sure that I get 3 meals a day by room service, and that I get a delivery of fresh flowers every week. So you people, not a bad guy at all. If it was,
I want you to respond to that.
Man, that's fake.
It's fake?
That's fake.
Why?
Because, man, that's fake.
Why? How?
I don't believe it.
Has anybody debunked her? Has anybody called her a lie? Has any fake news? Anybody came out and say Donald Trump is doing this?
Why didn't they show this while he was president?
Donald Trump don't ask for no credit.
If he want black people to vote for him so much, why didn't he show this while he was running for president?
Donald Trump don't ask for no credit.
He don't ask for no credit. Really?
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Well, let me do.
He don't ask for no credit. Really?
Donald Trump. Wait. I'll finish. I'm going to show you something.
Man, you can show me that anything.
I'm
gonna tell you, brother. I'm gonna tell you something straight up. I'll let you talk. I didn't interrupt you.
Go ahead. I'll let you talk.
I didn't interrupt you. I'll let you talk. Anything you show me on this media, man, they can make it up. We know that. We got AI. We got everything. Now we can go back and forth with videos about showing him to be a good man. But what about the Central Park 5, brother? What about that one? What you got to say about that one?
You want me to talk about that one?
Yeah, talk about that.
Okay. Now the Central Park Five pleaded guilty before they went to trial, right? And Donald Trump was going on what they pleaded, right? They said we guilty, we did it, right? Donald Trump said if they did it, which they pleaded guilty to, this what should happen.
But it wasn't. They didn't have no evidence. They didn't have no physical evidence, though.
But when you didn't hear what I said. When they pleaded guilty, this was what he said. Not after they were released, not after they ran an investigation. When they pleaded guilty.
But see, he didn't know the history of the police department.
You
know the history.
You
know the history of the police department.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. That's not up to Donald Trump. They pleaded guilty. Donald Trump went on what they pleaded. If a rapist say I done it, hold on. If a rapist say I done it, I killed her and I raped her, right? What are you going to? And the lady is dead and raped. What are you going to automatically think if he say I did it?
With the history of this country, Lionel, with the history of this country, man, you're not
answering my question.
Look here, Lionel.
You're not answering my question.
What's the question? What's the question?
If somebody, I don't give a fuck what race they is, said and it was a dead white woman, a Mexican woman, or whatever woman, whatever black woman, right? And the suspect was black, right? And he said, in today's world, I raped and I murdered her.
No, Lionel. No, they just said knowing the history of the police department in this country, I would have my doubts about that. Okay, straight up. Straight up. That's what we're gonna have to end this here, man. Because see, my situation is I'm here taking care of my dad, brother. He's 92 years old, so we gotta help him get to bed now, man. But I want to continue this with you, brother.
It's too much for you. I'm too much for you, bro.
No, whenever. See, that's why
I can understand.
Look, I'll be up early, bro. You see how I'll be up early in the morning? That's when I have a couple of hours. But we got to
anytime you want to come over here and discuss this, bro, I'm with it. Like I said, my line is open all the time. You gotta just hit me and say you want to come back on here. We've been waiting to discuss some shit like this.
That's what I'm saying, man. But I gotta put that down now. But I'll get back with it.
All right, for sure.
I'm gonna get back with it, brother, for sure.
For sure.
All right.
All right, for sure.
Later.
Yeah. Because I could have been here all night showing you things that Donald Trump done that wasn't racist for the black community. I was just getting started. I had about 5 or 6 more things lined up in my head already, and I was going to think of 5 or 6 more after that. I got plenty of shit. I was going to Google some more shit right here. Huh? What he done for black folks. Don't get me started with the racist man done. Huh? Don't get me on this his personal chauffeur that was black. Huh? Let me see, can I Google that? Donald Trump personal black chauffeur. Let me see if that's gonna be here. Donald Trump personal black chauffeur.
According to FoxNews.com, New York, a former chauffeur for President Donald Trump on Thursday dropped his lawsuit alleging he was not paid for thousands of hours of work.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about personal drivers. Black, did it say Donald Trump black chauffeur? Where we at? The drive black. Where we at? Sues. He dropped the lawsuit. Where we at? Donald Trump black chauffeur. We gotta go to videos or something. We gotta go to videos. I ain't got it on here. What's this dude's name? I forgot. It was in some kind of video. Donald Trump had a black chauffeur. They be hiding this. They be hiding this shit from the people, man. They ain't got it on here. They be hiding this shit from the people, man. They don't want you to see this type of shit. They'll hide this shit quick. It was a whole little thing. Black driver. Driver. Should I put driver? Black driver. Black driver. Driver. Ooh, I spelled driver wrong. Let me get it up out of here. Oops. Black. This shit. Oh my God. Go back to what it was. Black driver. Let's say about this. I was just getting started with the boy. I could have, man. I didn't say no damn Tiger. We gonna end it right. I didn't say no damn Tiger Woods. When the hell? Bubba Wallace. Big Bubba Wallace. Higher. Higher. Let me put higher. Higher. Let me put higher. Higher. I gotta find that because I used to find that shit easy. What did I used to put? Higher black. Damn, they got Donald Trump looking back right there. They got Donald Trump looking black as shit. Oh my God. Well, we ain't gonna find that on here. They ain't got it no more. They took that shit off. Like, we're not gonna let Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying, prove he racist. It was a little movie. Was it National Post? What was it? I forgot. Black Jobs. Anyway. Yeah, I was about to grill his ass. He know he didn't want none of this. Man, he know he did not want none of this heat right here. You know what I'm saying? But I had plenty more for his ass. I'm going to find that driver shit because I had a video on that shit. And I done a video on that. I don't know where I got it from. I don't know where I got it from. It was on the Max movie, whatever. It was a little clip off of that. Huh? But hey, let me go in the chat and see what they think. How did y'all like that little debate? How do y'all like that little debate that we just had when he received in New York? He's a police officer. Yeah, he's a police officer, ex-police officer. You know what I mean, Miss Black Barbie. You know we gotta get Charlie George to find that. Charlie George to find that for us. Charlie George, get on that for us. The black police officer that was his driver. Then when he came up in there, and there was a lot of white officers up in there, and Donald Trump picked him, and he was driving for him and his father. Huh? Driving for him and his father. Drove for his father. I should have put that up in there. Let me see. Drove for that didn't work either. Ha ha. Oh, I just spelled father right. Let me see. Did that work? Let me see. Did that work? No, that didn't work either. Oh my God. Miss Black Boy, we gotta find that. We gotta get Charlie George to find that. Was it Snoops? We got to get Charlie George to find that. Find that for us, Charlie George. For the next argument I can have, I can bring that shit up like, oh, yeah. Charlie George to find that shit for me. Let me see. Double 6 Raggedy Domino. Oh, no. They find that, Charlie George. Well, anyway, we up out of here, man. Since I don't have no more debates, you know what I'm saying? I guess I'll see y'all tomorrow, son, since ain't nobody gonna dare me on no debates. I don't see y'all tomorrow. Hey, Sarah Ford. I see Sarah Ford over there, fresh to the bone. Who this? Douglas Kramer? Who's that? Tonic T. That sounds, she's amazing. That sounds like a Rick James song right there. On the other channel. Good looking out, tuning in. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let me go find some more videos to talk about tomorrow. Hopefully y'all like the Illuminati video. I'm out. I'll see y'all tomorrow.